Good evening, radio fans, and welcome back to another edition of Davey Mac's Tales from the Satellite. I'm your host, Bobby Tamburo, and joining me over Zoom due to inclement weather is the one, the only Davey Mac, Eastside Dave McDonald. What's going on, Dave?
Thank you, Robert. Oh, my gosh. The whole world is snowed in. It's snowmageddon. Snowpocalypse is what they're saying. We've actually been trying to record this episode for so many days in a row, and every single day that we try to record, a new blizzard emerges. Not the same one, but a brand new blizzard. It's like on rerun over here. It's like a goddamn Seinfeld episode on the TBS. Enough with the blizzard. We understand the point. We got our snow tires on. I got my ice scraper. Let's go. I mean, come on. But nevertheless, we decided, oh, yes, there is the internet, and so we're just going to have to do it like this because, my God, I mean, we can't get out of this fucking snow over here. It's annoying.
It's been pretty nuts. World's been snowed in, and I will say, I've said this for years, both literally and metaphorically, inclement weather makes for the best radio, so I'm imagining this one's going to be a pretty good episode.
Oh, I'm excited. This is the Midnight Rider Part 3, if I'm led to believe.
Trace, yeah.
Look at me. Look who's taking the fucking smart pills today, Daddy.
You.
Me.
You? Okay, all right. Well, it was one of the two of us, and it wasn't me.
Yeah, no.
I thought you were accusing me of taking drugs. No.
That was one of those questions there. One of those questions that's kind of like, here's the it's an easy answer, but I forget what those kind of questions are.
Should take some more of those rhetoric pills.
Yeah, I think so. But, Midnight Rider Part 3.
We are on the Midnight Rider Part 3, and up to this point, it's been kind of a lot of storytelling and more you remembering things along the way, because if you'll recall, the first one, there was a lot of your injury surrounding it. Hot sauce burn,
sure,
the vote, the emotional trauma of losing your dream job, watching it all slip away. And now, episode 2, we did hypnosis, where the rider, or you in acting as the rider, remembered parts but not the whole thing. This one's kind of a recap of the hypnosis, and while that might seem like a boring topic, a lot of things are happening under the radar here. So
okay, I'm excited to hear it all. I'm excited to fucking go stroll down memory lane and keep the Midnight Rider Saga going. I know every single aspect of it was fascinating to people. I would also like to say, I saw someone's comment on YouTube, and don't worry, I'm not going to go into a long diatribe, but one of the people, I guess this was for our holiday episode, and our holiday episode where we partied, we had some beverages and whatnot, and someone's like, Dave he can't remember anything of his career. Hey, dipshit, fuckwad, fuckball. First of all, if we decide to do a party episode once a year, twice a year, 3 times a year, we're going to do one. If you don't like that, you can go fuck off. So what I am in is, this is the era of the Davey Mac echo chamber. I see a lot of people throwing
Davey
around
Mac
that
echo chamber.
I see a lot of people throwing around the word echo chamber. He wants to live in an echo chamber. Okay, we get it. Don't, beat the joke into the ground. I get it. But this is a fucking good rant here. I see a lot of people who are online, and anytime someone blocks them or something, they go, well, they just want to live in an echo chamber. No, you know what people want to do in 2024? You know what people like myself, who've been creating original fucking phenomenal content for 20 fucking years, who have given tens of thousands of hours of entertainment. You know what people who have done it, who've had a 20-year successful career in this business, you know what we want to do? Not be fucking harassed anymore. Not have every fucking no talent, dipshit, uncreative go onto fucking YouTube and have your little bullshit. By the way, this is like 1% of the comments. I shouldn't even dwell on this. 99% of the comments love every fucking episode of Davey Mac's Tales from the Satellite. But I'm letting all of the Davey Mac's Tales from the Satellite fans and listeners know, if you see dweebs like that, fucking stomp them to the ground on behalf of us. Because I can remember everything. The problem is, like I said, I'm a massively successful radio host, whether people want to admit that or not, whether they want to fucking face the facts of that or not. 10 straight years at satellite radio, 10 straight years at FM, where I'm number one at the Jersey Shore. Number one independent sports podcast in the world. Not according to me, according to iTunes, who gave us best in show. Okay? A fucking wrestling show where we're syndicated on 75 stations across America and the fastest rising Star Wars podcast. Okay? Oh my goddamn fucking computer.
And I'm going to go out on a limb and say the best podcast recapping a producer's time on Ron and Fez on satellite radio.
This is the greatest.
Yeah.
This is the greatest. This is the greatest radio nostalgic show because we just invented the genre. With this fucking show, we just invented a genre.
Indeed, you did. That's why they call you Trailblazer McDonald.
But the point is, I can remember everything, dick. But when you're a success like me who has done tens of thousands of fucking hours, guess what? You don't remember every fucking radio show. You don't remember every broadcast. You don't remember every appearance. You don't remember every character. You don't remember them until they're jogged in your memory. Until someone says, hey, remember the time you did this and that? And then you go, oh, yes, I do remember that. But I have too many fucking insane experiences and moments that I've done on all of my radio shows that I can't fucking, so that Robert has to fucking say, hey, and then you did this and then you did that, and then I comment. That's the format of the show. If you don't like it, fuck off. We are not living in fucking I reject the times that we live in now. In 2024, I'm taking a stand, and I hope other celebrities, content creators do the same. I'm taking a stand. If you're an uncreative schmizbo, if you're someone who is fucking no talent, if you've never had done anything in this space that I have, shut the fuck up unless it's a compliment. Echo chamber, yes. Or tweets, comments of encouragement. But I don't give a shit anymore about any fucking comment where you have something to say. If it's, how come he doesn't remember until Robert asks him? Because I've done literally 100,000 hours of radio for 20 years, constantly. And I'm a massive hit and success because of it. So go fuck off. This is a non-criticism show. If you have an issue with that, don't watch it. Don't listen to it. I reject the fact that every motherfucking person in society feels like their voice is important. It's not. Social media has fucked with y'all's heads into thinking that just because you're a human being on the planet Earth, goddamn fucking computer, here, I'm gonna play it here. Just because you think you're a fucking human being, and just because you think you have something to say, no, you actually, it might not fucking matter. I don't know. I'm sick and tired of it. And I'm sick and tired of all the bullshit. So that's what I'm coming here and I'm stating that. You're going to love our show, or you're going to love our show, or you're going to fuck off. Them's the rules in 2024. Don't fucking care anymore about haters or trolls or negative. And like I said, it's not like that. It's 0.0001%. But as you can see, even one comment will get the Dave Man fired up. Well, I fucking hate people who are just whiners and bitchers and complainers. I really fucking do. We do this show for free for you all.
I also hate myself. I was just going to get that in there. Call myself a bitch, whiner, complainer. But it is kind of like the guy who has one story he tells at the bar. The guy who scored the one.
I'm just going to take it off of YouTube. It's just going to stay at Patreon. That's what I'm considering. So guess what, YouTube audience? If you see this on YouTube and you don't fucking smack these people down and you don't send them into fucking online hiding, the show's getting taken off of YouTube. You like it on YouTube? Then fucking do what I say. Stay positive, and any motherfucking knucklehead who tries to go negative, I want you to fucking squash him.
I mean, this is a perfect lead into one of the dynamics we're going to talk about today, and that's the Rider rallying Earl. Constantly rallying Earl. Every time everybody's critiquing him, he's coming to rally Earl's troops. So that kind of leads into it. But
thank you.
I do get what you're saying in the sense that it's like a guy at a bar, right? who's got one story to tell because he hit one game-winning shot. So, of course he's going to remember every detail, the number of dribbles, what the gym smelled like. But you've had so many of those moments.
Yeah, Michael Jordan doesn't remember every fucking basket he took. Michael Jordan doesn't even remember every fucking magnificent dunk. He doesn't even remember every magnificent dunk that he did because he did so many.
Absolutely. And the other thing is, and I'm not defending the comment at all, but Dave, I do want to pay you a compliment in that you were one of the most in the moment broadcasters I've ever met.
Ever.
Like, so it is hard for some people to fathom you just not having something planned in your head and just being that free form. Okay, I'm going to trust my instincts enough to just roll with wherever my brain takes me. So maybe it was like, wow, Dave doesn't even remember this because he was so in the moment. Now, I didn't read the comment. I'm guessing if it was enough to inspire a rant, it was more negative than just, wow, he doesn't remember stuff. But you get what I'm saying. Like, no, you are very in the moment. So I get why you don't remember as much, even if you didn't have all these great
moments. There's a million reasons why, the show is formatted as it is. I like to go into all of these episodes cold. All right, how about this? This is a little Davey Max Tales from the Satellite behind the scenes.
We got to make him pay more for that.
I like to go in cold. I like to not have anything because I like to reminisce, remember, and get the juices flowing. And if I'm pissed off about something, it's going to be stagey and rehearsed. Then I'm going to get pissed off about it, a few days later in a performative way. That's not the way I like to rock and roll. So I can perform. I'm an amazing performer. You're seeing that. You're experiencing that week in and week out right here at Davey Max Tales from the Satellite. I don't think people ever understood what type of magnificent performer I am. I'm better than Daniel Day-Lewis, Al Pacino, who, Robert De Niro, suck my dick. Those fucking guys couldn't do it because they all need scripts in front of them. I could just fucking get it all here and here and fucking give you the performance of a lifetime. You want anger? I can do that. Happiness? I can do that. Funny? I can do that. And I just fucking go. I'm treating this show similar to the Ron Fez Show in that
on XM radio,
I'm coming in clean slate, fresh, and let's rock and roll. Now, like I said, the overwhelming majority of comments have been hugely positive, and I probably didn't need to go on this rant, but I was fired up today, and I thought I would go on my rant because I'm fired up, and that's the type of thing that fires me up. But the vast majority, especially during the holidays where people literally thanking us for these shows, saying thank you for doing this, thank you for putting these shows out, and those are the type of comments I appreciate. To everyone who wrote a compliment like that, 50 points for all of you. Okay, now I'm ready.
Well, are you ready?
No, yeah. Welcome to the Ron and Fez Show on XM Radio. Doesn't get any better than Ron and Fez. It's the best thing going today.
I got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell.
Outer space satellite blowing up nationwide. Boom goes the dynamite. Welcome to the Ron and Fez Show. Welcome to the Ron and Fez Show. Welcome to the Ron and Fez Show. Say what? Welcome to the Ron and Fez Show. Now I'm ready to rock. Midnight Rider
because that was a spicy start.
Let's go.
And
yeah.
If you're craving some spice in your life, you want some hot sauce, go to silkcityhotsauce.com. Use promo code RIDER so we can get some money and Dave can be a little happier. On that note, we just left off after the Hypnosis show. If you'll recall, that was a Friday. This is now the Monday after the Hypnosis show. And it starts with a call from Jay Moore.
Jay Moore, yes.
Now,
that of comedy fame. Also poured hot sauce into my dick hole and ass.
And that's the start, really, because Ron asks Jay, did you know that you put Dave in the hospital? And Jay says, no, Dave put Dave in the hospital.
Dave did not put Dave in the hospital. Dave did not grab the bottle of hot sauce out of Dave's hands and immediately proceed to forcibly pour it down Dave's anus and Dave's dick hole. Now, Jay Moore, I love you, but you saw that I came in here in a fucking hopped up angry mood. I also happen to know that you're getting married to Lakers owner Jeannie Buss. So what I would say, Jay Moore, is you take responsibility for pouring hot sauce into my dick hole and asshole, or I'm going to have to sue you and the fucking Lakers. Understand, fat boy?
Well, surprisingly, even though it's the Rider who's producing on XM, Dave is at home listening to the show and calls in to say pretty much the same thing, minus the whole, I know you're getting married to her, because I think he was getting married literally to somebody else right at that time.
Oh, that's
right. In fact,
right.
I know he was, because it was a wedding gift. They played another clip later. But you point out that unless if you had 2 extra arms, you did not take the hot sauce and pour it down your ass crack. And then he points out that, well, you get pepper sprayed and you don't have to go to the hospital. Why do you have to go to the hospital for hot sauce? Like something
because the hot sauce went into my dick hole and ass hole. It went into those orifices and would not get out without me going to the hospital, getting treatment, and then fucking having to buy 30 gallons of milk to fucking take it, pour it in my bathtub and take a goddamn milk bath, because the hot sauce in the fucking dick hole and anus ain't meant to be there. Now, I don't know what the fuck goes on in pepper spray, Jay. I haven't mugged anyone in Central Park. Apparently you have.
Fair enough. And I think you brought some of that energy to the table, and I believe Ron may have sensed that as well, because he quickly starts pressing Jay on a different subject. And I was wondering if maybe you could enlighten us as to what it goes.
Listen, that fucking thing went insane. Okay, but that was not me who did that. And I was pissed off about it. I had to go to the hospital for it. It was fucked up. And under today's situations, you know that I'd be fucking rich.
Even under those situations, this was the era of McDonald's spilling hot coffee and people getting millions of dollars.
Does anyone at SiriusXM ever appreciate how I haven't sued any of you motherfuckers like Master Poe kicking me in the fucking stomach? Like fucking Jay Moore pouring hot sauce on my asshole and dick hole? Like being soap poisoned? Does anyone fucking have appreciation for how much I have never thrown anyone under the bus at that stupid fucking corporation? At that fucking lame bullshit company, which SiriusXM is. You know the whole reason why we have to do this show, Davey Mac Tales of the Satellite fans, is because they're so threatened by me, SiriusXM that is, that they're not even allowed to play my shit on the fucking radio.
You got a little angry spittle on your chin there, Dave. I just want to get a heads up.
Fucking bitches.
Just as you're ranting certain things, you don't want to look any crazier than you have to.
So because they've deleted all of my shit. Now I'm like, you know what? Fuck you guys. I'm not just going to be erased. Stalin-esque treatment, huh? SiriusXM? Stalin XM, baby. That's what I'm going to call you from now on. Stalin XM. Well, guess what, Stalin XM? I'm not going to be erased. That's why this show exists, and that's why this is probably right now one of the best shows out there in the world for any genre.
Davey Mac stands 10 toes down. That's for damn sure.
I came in here.
But you bring this up to Jay. You bring this energy to Jay, and Jay quickly, I think it gets picked up by Ron, and he starts pressing Jay on a different issue, which is, why won't you call and patch things up with Opie?
To Jay Moore?
Yeah, what was the beef between Jay Moore and Opie?
I think Opie has something where he kind of, I won't say is like me in this regard, but I feel like he texted Jay Moore or something like that, and Jay Moore didn't get back to him in the prompt time, or maybe didn't get back to him at all. But he is like, he at the time especially, he's an actor, he's in movies and TV shows, shit like this. That's not how those fucking Hollywood types roll.
And
it takes them like
out.
3 years to text back.
Ron Bennington, Fez Watley, The Ron Fez Show, XM 202.
Hey, it's Jay Moore. How are you, Jay?
Hiya, boys.
Hey, buddy.
I got to tell you, I talked to the Midnight Rider. He was screening the calls.
Yeah.
He caught me off guard, man. I didn't realize he was also a phone screener. I didn't know.
Yes, the Midnight Rider also screens the calls.
And I will say, I listened all last week, and I have to say the Midnight Rider is probably who I enjoy most on radio in the history of my radio listening career.
All right, now speaking of which, could you please get a hold of Opie and get this thing back together?
What thing?
Whatever reason that you dodged those guys when you were in town, you just really need to stop by or call or say hi.
Well, I'm not up that early, that's all.
Oh, come on.
That's not it.
Come on. You were here on the East Coast.
Yeah, and I got up at, I ran around Central Park, and then I walked into your studio.
Jay, something's going on. Something is going on.
Yeah, you know what's going on?
Yeah.
They're on at fucking 6 in the morning. That's what's going on.
I don't know, buddy.
Sleeping. I'm banging Bush all night.
I wish you'd pick up the phone. I wish you'd swing by
next time I'm up at 5 a.m. on the West Coast, I'll call them.
All right. By the way, did you know that you put Eastside Dave in the hospital? Were you aware of all that?
No, Eastside Dave put Eastside Dave in the hospital. I mean, you can get pepper sprayed with fucking police mace. You don't have to go to the hospital, let alone for getting hot sauce on your anus.
No, I have to agree with that, too. You get sprayed in the eyes. It doesn't put you in the hospital. Why does a little hot sauce on his ass put him in the hospital?
I know
why. Because he went home and let a fucking dog chew it out.
Maybe.
That was uncalled for.
Yeah, it was, but that could have happened.
But it's insane that something that you're able to eat, take inside your body, can't be on the outside of your body.
It doesn't make sense.
It just, yeah.
I don't know, but I'm glad he's gone because it made room for the Midnight Rider.
Well, everybody loves the Rider. I'm not going to lie.
I got to meet this guy. He sounds like a real Cape Crusader type guy.
Yeah, he is. He's amazing. Everybody loves the Rider.
I got to tell you guys, when I came into studio and met you, that was one of the best times I've ever had. It was really great.
Thanks. We had a lot of fun, too. I just wish you would give O&A a call.
When you let it go?
I'm just, saying. It would be nice.
Come to me on my daughter's wedding day.
It would be nice. It would be just, I want everybody to be nice together.
I'll drop Opie a line, and I didn't know there was anything wrong with anything.
No, I don't think there is. I think, some of his guys would think it would be nice if you get a hold of them.
Does Opie have guys, or are they kind of like just followers?
Come on, please. Don't be like
I'm being serious.
Please.
Can I talk to the Midnight Rider?
I don't know where the Rider is right now.
Put him on the air to talk about these football games. What's like, because he's like the rootinest, tootinest guy on the show.
All right, hold on for a second, though, because we got a call from Eastside Dave. Eastside Dave's back at his house calling. Hey, Dave.
Yeah. Hi, Ron. How are you? I was just listening to the show. Yeah, all right. Well, Mr. Hollywood, I have a couple 2 cents for you, Mr. Hollywood. Now, first of all, it was my fault that my asshole got burned. Unless I have 2 extra arms attached to my body, I don't recall putting the hot sauce down my ass. I recall Mr. Hollywood, Mr. Jerry Maguire, Jay Moore putting the hot sauce down there. What? Not true. I saw it on the YouTube, and I had to watch the YouTube because I was in so much pain. I had blacked out from what you did to me. Oh, I hope.
See, this is why you're not with us anymore, Dave. This is why you've been replaced.
I've been replaced. Thumbs down, thumbs down. I'm on the freeway with my thumbs down. People are looking at me funny. Oh, you stink.
You're getting booed by Jay Moore.
That's rough.
You tell him, Franco Harris.
All right, Dave.
Yeah, what?
You're not with the show anymore. I got to let you go. This is really just a place for employees. That's the only time. That's the only people I can have time for.
Well, that sullied everything, didn't it?
Yeah, it really did. I know that the Midnight Rider is busy over there, Earl, but could you send them in here? Could you send the Midnight Rider in very quick to me?
Jay Moore wants to talk to him.
I couldn't believe how much Fez loves Big A. I just tuned in.
Yeah.
I think it was Friday or Thursday, and out of nowhere, Fez is just saying, I want to massage his neck and his back. And that
was embarrassing.
That was under hypnosis.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Oh, how's it going, Mr. J. Moore? Mr. Day, it's such a pleasure to talk to a celebrity of your status, Daddy.
Yay!
The rider sees a lot of sunsets, the rider sees a lot of clouds, Daddy, but the rider doesn't see a lot of stars except for fallen stars over the Grand Canyon. So to talk to a genuine superstar such as yourself, even bigger star than superstar Billy Graham, to talk to someone of your caliber, Mr. J. Moore, tickles the Midnight Rider. I say thank you, sir. It's an honor and a pleasure to meet and speak with you, Daddy. And anytime you want to go rolling, you want to go bowling, you want to put on your oogly boogly shoes, then you call me and you call Miss Sapphire, and we will party with you like it's Y2K, Daddy.
All right, that's enough. Sapphire, you going out with these guys?
Sapphire, what are you doing, Sapphire?
My name is Earl, and I'm not going out with these guys.
Sweet, sweet Sapphire, and Mr. J. Moore of celebrity status, and the person himself, Midnight Rider, on a three-way party, baby.
Earl, why do you have to wreck it, man? Just be Sapphire.
Just roll with it.
Good point.
The rest of us do.
Get your Oogie Boogie shoes on.
Yeah.
I got no Oogie Boogie left, and I'm not a middle-aged black woman.
Yeah, you are.
You're certainly middle-aged. That's one thing you are, Daddy. Old Man River.
That hurts.
Earl walks like he's got giant, heavy tits on him, though. Doesn't he, with that weird little hunch he has?
It seems like there's a hot corn cob in his ass at all times. There's something wrong with his legs and back.
It's like he hurt his back on the turnbuckle from the Midnight Rider.
Well, my sweet, sweet Sapphire's not sleeping well these days, and that's why he has been called the noon arriver.
He pointed out that it's 5 a.m. his time when Opie and Anthony are on, but Ron really kept pressing on it. Like, come on, man, there's got to be something that just apologize, do the show and apologize. And like, is it really just a text?
It's Opie thinking. I'm not going to say that I know who's at fault. It's Opie thinking that Jay Moore is giving the O&A show the old brush off, that he's better than them. And maybe also, this is the time where Jay Moore started to appear on the Ron Fez Show a lot.
That's definitely part of it, I think. But I was just going to point out, like, Opie at one point got a text that said the cunt won't look me in the eyes from his co-host about Opie, and then continued to do a show with Anthony for 5 years. So maybe, he didn't always have the thinnest skin. I feel like there's got to be something more, but maybe we'll jog your memory as we go through this a little bit. Because Jay Moore starts to panic, which makes me really think that there's something there.
He does?
Yeah, and just like, come on, move on, man. He literally says that to Ron. Like, you don't do that. That's the same as if you're a comedian on stage and you're doing crowd work in the audience. It's like, just do your little joke thing. But Ron kind of allows him to be like, oh, you like the rider? Well, here's the rider. And the Midnight Rider comes in, and Jay is over the top enthusiastic for him. Did they ever get to meet in person?
No. Jay Moore did say he would do the when he was in California. I still have his phone number, and every once in a while I'll send out a text.
Why don't you call him?
Every once in a while I do. I don't do the call, but I do the text.
Give him a ring. Don't tell him he's on air until the last second, and be like, we're talking about the rider. You remember this when you almost killed me? You Laker ticket owning son of a bitch. I'm going to sue you. Check out the first 15 minutes of this show. You can afford it. You own the Lakers now.
How did he get to meet, let alone date, Jeannie Buss? This is unfathomable to me. He might as well be fucking banging a Steinbrenner. This is fucking insane. But anyway, Jay Moore did say one time I texted him, and he said he would do the day. Thank you.
And I'd like to do it.
I think he may have died too, by the way. But
then it'll be a lot easier to do dinner with him.
Well, I'm trying to come up with a real Los Angeles Hollywood night on the town. We got to maybe have dinner at the Beverly Hills down in the lounge with a director. I don't know why I threw Bogdanovich, but it just felt like the right thing to do.
No, that felt like a good name. And if I could have the true Hollywood experience where he tells me I'm going to be in a movie and it turns out just to be porn, I'd also be okay with that.
Not me.
As long as I'm the man in the porn and the only man.
Jesus. It's distressing.
Is it?
So he likes Jay Moore.
So he loves the rider. You're super enthusiastic. And then he goes, well, why did it take you so long to get in here, Mr. Rider? And you were like, well, I was kind of setting things up, Daddy, because Earl decided to walk in at 11:45. That's why we call him the noon arriver. And you introduced Jay to the noon arriver name. and they get into it, Earl and Jay, a little bit about not being there on time. And this is where we learn that Earl is having nightmares.
Today he showed up at 11:47, Daddy. But that's okay, Sappy. That's okay. It's about your inner dream, Sappy.
You know what, Sapphire? I did get a call from you today. 2 minutes till the show starts.
Yes,
Why was he there so early?
Yeah, that is early for him. That's early for the noon arriver.
Who does he think he is, Ron?
Yeah.
I was on the train today coming into work. I'm standing there on the train. There's no seats. I turn around to look to see if, and I've already passed one stop. So I've been on there for a good 3 minutes. I turn around and look. Earl is sitting there right behind me, never even said hello to me as I got on the train.
Sure, he's hiding.
And taking up 3 seats. I am not lying. He's basically laid out across an entire bench.
But I was in the middle seat. I didn't even see you. I only saw you from the back.
Still not sleeping, Sapphire?
Yes, I'm still not sleeping, and my name is not Sapphire.
Why wouldn't you say hello to me?
You still having your bad dreams?
Oh, yeah. Worse than ever.
What are you dreaming of?
No.
Well, they're just really abstract now. There's like pieces of my childhood coupled with things that make absolutely no sense at all.
Maybe you got raped like Oprah.
No, I did not get raped like Oprah.
You want to hear the dream I had last night, Ronnie?
Yeah.
I had a dream I got caught with drugs, and then I tested positive for syphilis. And that was like a violation of some weird law that no one knows, and I lost custody of my kid. I went to jail. I got to visit Cox. I said, Nikki, not Fez's kind.
Right.
And I said, but I don't have syphilis because I've never cheated. I've only had sex with one woman in 3 years. And she was like, I don't know. So they put me in jail, and then I'm in a plane going to a different jail, and the plane crashes. And then I get out of the plane to save somebody after it crashes, and a fucking dog runs out and bites me.
Wow.
That's like
It's
wow.
all the bad things.
You think, Fez?
Yes.
You think that's all the bad things? Captain Obvious? Sapphire, why don't you steal this dream for your own tonight, since you never have your own material?
I woke up in the best mood I've been in since I was in studio with you. It's been a big lull in my life since I left your studio.
You know why you were in a good mood? Because you got out of that fucking jam you were in over the night. I love when you wake up with a nightmare and go, okay, it's not true. I didn't fucking kill anybody. This is perfect.
See, that's looking at the glass half full, Ronnie B. I don't see why Sapphire can't understand. These are only dreams that's going on.
Right.
When he wakes up, he's not falling from a burning bridge.
Right.
He's not rosing around with a money pony. Instead,
right.
These are dreams. He has a great job. He's on XM. He's on a free show that I've heard about. Wake up and realize you are the producer of the year of 2006. Get the golden dream straight forward and be positive, Daddy.
That's true, Earl.
How'd you find out about producer of the year there, Ryder?
Earl, you want to have the job load taken off you? Because it's too much. If you can't show up on time anymore, it's too much to have two.
I mean, well, it was the one time I called
Throw a dart. Whatever one it hits, that's your show.
Please miss
I'm
both.
going to blindfold you and have you throw a dart.
I'm just going through a rough patch right now with the dreams, and it's just a little abstract right now, and it keep me awake. They wake me up every hour.
You know what I do, Sapphire, when I want to get rid of my bad dreams? I count sheep. And I go, there's one woolly going over the fence. There's two woolies going over the fence. And what happens is, Sappy, soon you'll be dreaming about sheep, Daddy, and being on the Great Plains of Kansas City.
Hey, let me ask you, Ryder, do you wear a sleep mask? Is that something you need at night?
Yes, I do. I need to remain mysterious and from parts unknown.
Yeah.
I love you guys.
All right, buddy. Talk to you later.
Bye-bye. Let the blackest coach win. It's the Brother Bowl.
All right, peace out.
Sapphire.
He's having nightmares. Well,
Yeah,
what?
not-
Of having to pick up the check finally at a restaurant, having to pay rent. What having to give his credit card number to the Yes Network so he can watch the Yankee games legally, as opposed to stealing the Yes Network at SiriusXM office computers and then watching it at SiriusXM, so he doesn't have to pay for cable. Are those the things he did?
He never specified.
Oh,
he just said it's been about 3 weeks since he slept, since he's been having these terrible nightmares, and everybody kind of makes fun of him for that, but also kind of is giving him more of a pass than the ridiculousness of the statement. Do you have any insight into what was going on with Earl? Like, this was the first real down period of him.
Well, Nightmares just makes me think that Earl was going fucking crazy. If you're going to ask me to interpret anything, he didn't share with me what any of those nightmares were, so I don't know what the topics were. But if I could probably take a guess, Earl was probably freaked out by the Midnight Rider, or by Eastside Dave having to go to the hospital, freaked out about the Midnight Rider. Also, I have my own little tiny conspiracy theory. I think by the time the Midnight Rider emerged, I hate to say it, I had made Earl Douglas a total afterthought. I was the fucking producer extraordinaire. I was the main event. I was probably one of the great producers in the history of radio. I was number one. I'm saying in that building, I was number one on the totem pole over all Opie and Anthony producers and Ron and Fez producers.
Well, this was January 2007, right?
Yeah.
Because we learned that in December 2006, Earl Douglas was chosen as producer of the year.
Yeah, unbelievable.
No. So, but that is something that gets brought up several times when the next segment that I just simply have titled Beat Up Earl occurs. And that's that both Ron Fez and a bunch of callers, and I mean a bunch, even some of the normal Eastside Dave haters called in to be like, Earl, you were barely keeping up with Dave. Now that he's gone and we've got the Rider, and you don't have a fucking prayer, buddy. So maybe there is some insight into that too.
Yeah, I love, and again, maybe that's why in 2024 that one single YouTube comment made me crazy, because that's the type of shit that I've been literally putting up for 20 years. Earl, you could barely keep up with Dave, and he sucks. I don't suck. I graduated from Monmouth University, magna cum laude. That means with honors. I've always been more intelligent. Yes, I dumped myself down in a performative way on the Ron Fez Show at times, and made myself out to be a stupid fucking idiot at times. You see? You got fucking played. If you always bought the fact that I was a fucking dumb, lunatic, fucking ranting idiot, then you got played, because that's not 100% of who I am. Maybe it's part of me, but I have massive amounts of intelligence, as every fucking school has said to me, because I've gotten honors everywhere I've gone. I'm sorry that I didn't actually own a hot dog cart, and a lot of you fuckers believed it. I don't mean Davey Mac Tales from the Satellite fans. I'm talking about the fucking whackbag douchebag who probably called up and said that comment. Yeah. Like, it's like no one can keep up with me. No one.
That's fair.
No, there's not one producer on Opie and Anthony, Ron and Fez. Nowhere did any of them hold a fucking candle. Sketches, bits, games, characters, stunts, talking points, themed episodes. I did all of that, and you didn't have fucking one producer on Opie and Anthony who did what. You have producers who didn't do one of those things. So please.
And anyone who thinks that you're the Rider did the exact opposite when people would bash Earl. And that was, he would be like, Earl, come on, daddy. We got to make our dreams, your dreams, and my dreams, our dreams. Take them and put them into my heart, Mac. And,
come on, Mr. Earl Douglas. Don't take it so hard, baby. You can get to the top of the mountain with a positive attitude. Earl Douglas, you can get to the top of the mountain just by thinking about unicorns, embracing the sunshine, daddy. Stuff like that.
Exactly. Very, very simple, pep talks. Earl, the whole time, if people call him Sapphire, he refers to himself as Earl. If people call him Earl, he refers to himself as Sapphy. Like, he cannot get that down, but it's okay. He's trying. The other thing he takes a big beating for is he addresses his lack of sleep and nightmares. Do you remember how the Rider tried to get him to go to sleep?
Punch him in the face?
No. He was giving him helpful tips. Remember, the Rider's helpful.
No, I have no idea. Go ahead. So this is probably why they think I can't remember shit. Here, just never ask me the question, do you remember? I will 100% not remember until you tell me it happened.
Well, he said he wanted Earl to count sheep. But the phrasing he used was woolly woolies. And then he counted 1 woolly woolly, 2 woolly woolies, out on the pasture.
Two, sometimes when I'm outside on the range in the campfire, roasting the marshmallows. I have a hard time getting some shut-eye myself, Earl Douglas. So what I like to do is count the woolly-woolies. Climbing over my head, there goes one woolly-woolly right now. When there's 2 woolly-woolies and 3 woolly-woolies. And next thing you know, ooh, shh, I'm sleepy, bedtime, happy boy. That's the way the rider does it, Earl. Count the woolly-woolies.
Exactly. And then the other thing he says is that they have witch doctors on the plane that sometimes will look into your head and try to figure something out. Perhaps Earl should see one of these witch doctors.
Well, the Midnight Rider just happens to know the complexion of your skin. And so if counting woolly woolies isn't for you, I'm thinking based on the complexion of your skin, that voodoo will work for you, some wonders for you. I know somebody from the Caribbean who lives around the San Antonio area, then they can do all kinds of voodoos for you, Earl, and maybe remove some of these nightmares, some of these haunted visions of yours, Daddy.
I don't think he took the counting sheep advice, but I hope at some point he saw a therapist.
I don't think Earl Douglas has ever seen a therapist.
No, I don't either.
Whether he says he has or not, I have high doubts that Earl Douglas has ever gone to therapy, ever.
It's like me with my ex-girlfriend. Sometimes it's just easier to say, yeah, I'm going to therapy than to go to therapy.
Yeah. That's usually the case is with a lot of people. I actually went to therapy, didn't mind at all. You know why? Because I'm like, therapists love me. I'll come in, I'll fucking rant for 60 minutes straight about all the people I hate, the people I want to kill. And I ask them all the time, I'm like, if I tell you I want to kill this guy, like, you're not going to call the cops, right? Like,
and they're like, no.
Uh-oh.
If you put somebody's life in danger, they can.
Because I had a session this morning. All right, well, shit. This might be the last episode then. Maybe Max Tales from Satellite.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't want to slam therapy or anything, but if I really want to go get the advice of somebody who went to community college for 12 days, I'll just go myself. But anyway, we're talking about Earl and his mental health, not mine. The other thing the callers are giving him a hard time for is he won't embrace the Sapphire. Like, he won't just.
That's crazy. Why wouldn't he have embraced Sapphire? That's perfect.
It gets so bad, Dave. It almost got me thinking, was this whole thing done to take some of the heat off of Earl's like lack of performance as of late?
No, it's not always a Machiavellian thing. Fucking Dusty Rhodes had Sapphire, a black woman.
No, but I'm saying, like, Earl's gotten so bad at his job that you had to do the entire Midnight Rider thing to cover up the fact that he is that bad at his job.
And I'm answering you. No, that's insane Machiavellian shit.
Last time, my name is Earl, not Sapphire.
What are you talking about, Sappy? You are my sweet, sweet Sapphire.
Robin, you're on Ron Fez.
Yeah, I want to vote Earl off the show because, you know, as bad as everybody didn't like Eastside Dave,
hated him.
That guy was a goer, man. He would do whatever the show required. Earl does nothing. He won't get hypnotized. He won't let anybody call him other than anything but Earl. You know, and now you got the Midnight Rider. This guy, you got some goers on that show, but Earl, he hangs everybody back.
That's true. You know, one thing, Earl, at least before, you were almost there step for step with Dave. But now with the Midnight Rider, you've been left behind.
It's hard to keep step with a guy. I can't even look in the man's eyes, more or less, 9 times out of 10. He's got that damn
Don't look into my eyes, Sapphire. Look into my soul and match me with your heart. That's where we need to be, baby.
True.
It's not about physical. It's about the inner strength. How many times do I need to say it, Sappy?
Here's Tracy. Tracy.
Hi. I think you gentlemen forgot that the show One Day at a Time was set in Indianapolis.
Oh, yeah, it was, huh?
Yeah, Ann Romano's got to be going crazy today with her team in it.
Now, set in Indianapolis, shot in Los Angeles. It's not like they shot it there. I've never been to Indianapolis. Have you?
I have been to Indianapolis.
What do you think of it? Give me a city it compares to.
I would guess size-wise, looking at it, it looks kind of like Tampa.
Oh. So there's no downtown then?
There's buildings, but nothing that's anything that stood out. I mean, there's the Speedway.
Well, you're saying there's bank buildings.
Exactly. That's Orlando is what it looks like.
So there's a giant theme park that goes on for miles and miles.
No theme park.
What were you doing in Indianapolis, if I may inquire?
I had flown in there to go to a Notre Dame Purdue game.
Okay.
In West Lafayette.
Tracy.
Yes.
All right, take care of your leg. Take care. Jeremy, you're on Ron Fez.
Hey, Ronnie.
Yeah.
What is Earl even doing commenting? He knows absolutely nothing about football. He picked Michigan, for God's sake.
Yeah, that is true.
He knows nothing of the game.
Earl, things aren't going your way.
I'm kind of going through who wasn't going with Michigan? They were the number 2 team in the entire season.
When is Sapphire going to climb back up on top, though?
Well, Earl will climb back on top when I can finally get just a decent night's sleep.
But here you had a full weekend off, and you get in here 2 minutes before the show starts.
What? I didn't get in 2 minutes before the show started. I called you 2 minutes before the show started.
By the way, Earl calls me. I'm downstairs. I tell him short opening. He doesn't do that. And, he had crazy fucking thoughts. He was already mumbling. But I get down there. The fire alarm is going off on the first floor. Now, normally I would take my time, but I'm late for the fucking show. Why do our elevators still work in fire alarms?
It shouldn't happen. And if there's a fire in the building, why is the alarm only on one floor?
Well, I guess there is no fire in the building. But there was the alarm going off down there. I don't know whether it was just practicing or whatever. But it's a little fucking annoying to me. Kevin, you're on Ron Fez.
Hey, Ronnie, I think Ed Ames did Little Green Apples.
So, Bobo was lying to us?
Yeah, Ed Ames had a hit with early 70s, just like you said.
Wow, not used to Bobo being wrong, Fez.
No, that's usually his expertise there.
Brian, you're on Ron Fez.
Yeah, Little Green Apples hit the charts 3 times. O.C. Smith, Bobby Goldsboro, and Roger Miller. Everybody else might have recorded it.
Bobby Goldsboro was the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you very much. Here is Adam. Adam, you're on Ron Fez.
Hey, I just wanted to say I love your show, for one.
Thanks.
That's one thing. I just want to say, Earl, you need to embrace the Sapphire. You have to embrace your inner Sapphire. You know, follow Midnight Rider's lead.
Earl, I think it would work for you.
No, I'm very comfortable with my own personality and my own...
Are you? You don't sleep. You don't show up for work. You stutter. You say the same phrase over and over. That's not comfortable.
Well, we're right now, I'm just not.
I'm watching a man drowned in his own fucking aura, in his own blood, in his own skin. You're suffocating in this muck called Earl.
Just look at his body posture.
Yeah, it's terrible.
He's an inch away from the desk. Sit up straight.
Seriously, I have seen rape victims that were more composed and self-confident than you.
Do we have to keep Earl's identity a secret and just call him Jane Doe then?
And you don't want your problems to go away, Sapphire, if you are not willing to work on them. You just can't say, I can't fall asleep. You're going to have to try something. You're going to have to try warm milk, Tylenol PM, petting a puppy. I don't know what it'll take, but it's got to take something.
Well, I've tried going to bed earlier.
Earl.
Earl. I'm trying.
I can't hose the cum off you until we run all the DNA test, or we're not going to be able to get these guys.
I have not been raped at all, not as a child and not recently.
Then why do you sit like that?
Were you at a Duke lacrosse party over the weekend?
I was not at a Duke lacrosse party. I'm just going through a rough time right now, a really rough time.
You want to take a couple months off?
I don't want to take a couple. I'm trying to work through this my own way, and I'm just trying to get through this.
Let me see if this cup can fucking produce the show for the next couple months. I'll let this cup take over, see if it can't do just as good a job.
I'm up to the job. I'm Cuppy.
Sometimes with the Ron Fez Show, in fact, the vast majority of the time, let's just do something fun. But the motherfucking Bill Buckner of radio can't not have the ball go through his legs. And so rather than just being Sapphire, all he had to do was buy a wig and a black and yellow polka dotted fucking sweater. That's all he had to do. I did all of the talking. All he had to do was just stand by me and dance a little bit. Do a little dancey dance. A little nicey nice. Twice as nice. Dicey dice. That's all he had to do.
As we learned from the Cat Williams interview, you were asking him to put on the dress. And sometimes,
put on the fucking dress.
Sometimes that community doesn't like.
I was putting on a luchador mask and a fucking cowboy hat in the subway, fucking 3 blocks from the SiriusXM headquarters, because I was afraid the fucking shitty Opie and Anthony producers were going to get a picture of me without the Rider mask on. So I was fucking literally like freaking people out thinking they were going to get murdered. Let's not forget, this wasn't too far after Colin Ferguson shot a whole bunch of people on the train in New York.
Wait, I thought he hosted the late night show. The late night.
Oh, yeah.
Did he get out of prison?
Wait, is that someone Ferguson? I forget.
Not Colin, though. He was the good one.
I guess that YouTube comment's true. I forgot the name of the fucking subway shooter, the black dude. All I know is Tim Meadows portrayed him on Saturday Night Live. It was Tim Meadows' greatest performance, and he just made the guy batshit insane. I was always like, Tim Meadows, this is your fucking Wayne's World moment.
Hell yeah, they should have made a whole movie about him. But yeah, he should have gone with it. Anytime there's an idea like this, even if it's a stupid one that was just let's do a Dusty Rhodes ripoff, right? You can rally around this. Not stupid, but you get like it's not a common core set of beliefs that's going to change the outlook of a program. But if everybody buys into the silliness and just sells out, it can change how things are going for sure. And Earl's like a stick in the mud. If he refuses to go with it, it's amazing.
All he had to do was dance, shake that black ass right in my face. Let me go. And they go, oh, look, give me that. Oh, let me see. Oh, and I put the Midnight Rider cheeks right between my cheeks, go between Earl's cheeks. That's what happens at the Midnight Rider. The Midnight Rider's cheeks go right between Sapphire's cheeks. Oh, so sweet. And I go, ooh, this is so nice.
If you yes and, even if you're not good at it, where you just give a little bit of a yes and, people tend to let you off the hook. Right? Hawk, with Hawk Facts. Like, he never had to be more than the Hawk guy who knew weird things, because he was like, yeah, I'll be that guy. And he accepted it, and they never, that's all Earl had to do. The other thing that he's taking a real beating for, and the caller in particular who does this is Jen. And she calls him a fucking pussy for not getting hypnotized.
He was not always up for participating on the radio show that he worked on. It's very odd. That's who was it? Was it Wilt Chamberlain? They accused of sitting out, of taking himself out of the game of the NBA Finals against the Knicks and basically not wanting to play. Well, actually, Scottie Pippen, too, even recently, right? How about that?
Yeah.
If you watch The Last Dance, in the season where Jordan wasn't there, Phil Jackson drew up a play for Tony Kukoc, and because Scottie wasn't going to get the ball, he's like, oh, fuck this. I'm not going out on the court. Earl Douglas got a lot of Scottie Pippen in him. He's the Scottie Pippen of radio, in fact.
Well, I hope he gets a hot wife and I can be Future.
That's the weirdest thing ever, that Jordan's son is marrying Scottie Pippen's ex-wife. That's crazy.
Yeah. But even before that, do you know there's a whole song called I Just Fucked Your Bitch in Some Gucci Flip-Flops that's about a rapper who went over to Scottie Pippen's house and had sex with her, then ran to the studio to record the song? Anyway, we're so far off of Earl Douglas.
She seems like a horrible person, yes. Okay, back to Earl.
Type of person who'd date Earl. Anyway. So he says again, he doesn't think he'd get hypnotized. And to which Ron goes, I could go boo and you'd faint right now. Don't tell me your mind's a steel trap and that people can't get into it.
That's true.
This is the faint and go era, right? Like, and then it circles back to these lack of sleep and nightmares. So again, like, no idea what was going on with him at this point.
No. I think what was going. I'll tell you exactly what was going on. He's feeling the pressure. He's feeling the heat. That's what was going on. He would look. Bottom line is this: Earl Douglas doesn't do well under pressure. So then, when he begins to crack, here come out the excuses: insomnia. The Yankees lost. Apartment's got no fucking electricity. Locust.
The BS network without paying extra.
That's what happens time and time again. Okay. When he cracks under pressure because he realizes, oh shit, I'm not measuring up the way I want to, then we have all like these kinds of things. Like I'm having nightmares.
So I know I get accused of, by you in particular, not so much the YouTube comments, mainly you, Dave McDonald, of being conspiracy theory Rob. but I did run this past your other two producers, and they thought there might be some smoke here. And that's that we later on during a confession bit hear about Earl having what he refers to as a abortion, and then we later learn was a miscarriage. Now, would that have been, if you do the time right, around this time period? Because he goes, it was about a year after you first met me. Now, I know that he met them before they went to DC and then came back, but if it was a year after they came back, this would be right that time period. And the best evidence I have is at one point, Earl goes, so a caller calls in and goes, Earl, you keep saying us and we. Do you think you speak for the black man? And Earl goes, around here, I'm the only one. So, yeah, I guess I speak for him. Like, it was a pretty funny line by Earl.
Yeah, that's good.
The Rider, this is the one time we really see the Rider slam him because he runs in and goes, don't you lie, Safi. There are lots of black folks on this floor. In fact, there's a young little lass down the hall or something like that. And then they find out there's a black chick, and everybody goes, Ron goes, yeah, Earl, why don't you get me a little sucker off of her? I'd love a little lollipop from her. And Earl goes, yeah, I'd love a little kid. And everybody goes, what? That's not what we were referring to. Like, where the fuck did that come from?
That's weird.
But if that was on his mind, and that's why he's not sleeping and all this stress.
Let me go to Dave. Dave, you're on Ron Fez.
Yes. Question for Earl. When he says we, does that mean he's the spokesperson for the black man?
Earl, do you feel like you speak for them?
Well, yeah, I kind of feel as though I was like, at this particular moment, yeah, I'm speaking for the black community since I'm the only black guy on this floor at the moment. But
there's black people on this floor. There's black people in those offices over there. The writer saw them moseying on up to their offices today. A lovely black woman, Sapphire.
Earl, why don't you try to go out with her? Why don't you try to marry her and have babies?
You have so much in common. You're on the same floor.
I know nothing about this woman.
Earl, I want you to get me a little sucker. Come on, please. You know I want something to cuddle.
I mean, I would love to have a baby. I mean, obviously it would take 9 months to have a baby, but...
What is he rambling about?
I have no idea.
Seriously, you cannot fucking keep getting paid for the way you act on this show.
He thinks he's Sapphire and he's pregnant.
No, I didn't... Well,
seriously, you don't have it together anymore.
I will be the first to admit, today I do not have it together.
You want to take the rest of the day off?
Oh,
you want to take an Earl day?
I want to really work through this. I don't want to let the team down any more than I already have.
Thanks to you.
It takes 9 months to have a human baby. It takes 16 weeks to have a puppy. Let's see, the reptile world, it takes about 3 months. He's giving us the birth cycle for every animal on the face of the planet Earth. We know how long it takes, Daddy. Now go find that inner smile somehow, Sapphire. Must be Sapphire. What's wrong?
Earl, you know I'm already getting bad reviews on you at Free FM, too.
Earl, so you're saying Earl knocked somebody up and then she had an abortion?
She had a miscarriage.
Oh, my
He said
God.
abortion during the confession bit, but during the process, it finds out it was a miscarriage. And I just don't know the timeline there. If you would have any insight, like, I don't think Earl would have brought a girl around.
Here's the problem. No one's going to have insight to Earl Douglas. It's a valid question. But I'm explaining to you why. He will not communicate or articulate that anything's ever wrong with him, ever. Until it's that Earl blows his stack moment. You get 3 to 5 months of Earl Stonewall Douglas, where he won't give you dick. He barely will communicate with you. There were episodes where I swear to God, on and off the air, I don't think I said more than 6 words to Earl for an entire 3-hour episode. If it's up to Earl, he'd love to do his job and literally not talk to anyone, which is odd that he would choose
radio as a career,
as a field. But that is the way he prefers to live life. Don't talk to him, and he doesn't need to talk to anybody. I occasionally try to talk as a human to Earl. When we would be by ourselves in our office, we had a little office. When we were by ourselves, I would say things like, everything okay? Everything good? Little things like that. Nothing. So if he tells me nothing for weeks and weeks and weeks, I can only assume that nothing's wrong with him. Now,
I'm just
thinking
laughing
about it, he definitely was guilt-stricken about the abortion that he then lied about on the air and made it a miscarriage. I'm not saying that this is the fact. I don't want to be sued. I'm saying, you want to give theories? I'm going to give a theory. He probably knocked the chick up in D.C. She then probably said, oh my God, I can't have a baby with a fucking mute. The guy's essentially a male version of Helen Keller. So I got to fucking scrub this thing out of the old pussy. Get the doctor to do the fucking, I don't know how abortions work, but, get that thing in there, stab it in the head, rip it out, whatever they do. They get one of those things from the arcade, maybe. I think that's how they do it these days. It's like a claw that comes down and takes out the fetus like a little prize. And I'm pretty sure that's how the abortions are done now. And Earl, what is one thing we do know, Robert? He pretends that he is this most God-fearing Christian on the entire planet Earth. He's fucking Old Testament Earl. So there's no way he would be able to admit that the fucking one-night stand that he knocked up had an abortion, so he's going around calling it a miscarriage, and that probably gave him the sleepless nights.
And
that's just a conspiracy. I don't have any of that, but that's the way I feel, so I'm putting it out there for you.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. 100% fact, straight from Dave, who took Earl's girl to the abortion clinic.
Not facts. Just now that we're thinking about it, okay. I'm
did
putting
say
the
that
pieces
first.
together.
That level of stress can cause people to faint when there's additional stress added. Like, it would just be funny if all of this was derivative of that, and everybody overlooked it for all those years.
There's a chance it was. There is a chance that Earl Douglas's child, who is not with us anymore, is the reason why he's having one meltdown after another.
I'm also laughing because last week you called me on the phone and I was like, Dave, you don't have to worry about me. I'm not going to kill myself. And you were like, Rob, I'm just trying to talk to you like a human being, be a friend. And I was like, oh God, am I Earl?
Yes.
But no.
You've had quite the 3, 4, 5 month run.
I mean, all things considered, I'm acting like a real pansy about it. But you know who wasn't acting like a real pansy? You, when you almost had a slip on air. Because Ron goes, I wonder, has Dave ever had catfish? And then catches himself right away and goes, and knocks on the table. And you start to answer and then go, I don't know who this Dave man is, daddy, but the Riders had some catfish. And it was the one time I really caught a slip. And it wasn't even a slip. It was, just the slightest.
The Rider loved his catfish. He loved them more than dogfish, in fact, daddy.
And that's the end of the first break of this show back, kind of recapping. When we come back.
That's pretty controversial for a little recap.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, while technically not a lot happens here, a lot of controversies being stirred that's going to play out big time later.
That was some serious controversy. We fucking just had an Earl Douglas fucking abortion scene, like right out of Godfather 2, where Kay tells Michael it was an abortion, Michael. And then we also had the Jay Moore controversy. There's a lot of controversy here. I'm actually a little surprised, but in a pleasant way.
And we had the controversy right out the gate. It's been a controversy-filled episode. Something good does come out of this, and that is we get 2 great songs. The first one we're going to debut here and then go into our break, but the producers asked me to actually play it for you, Dave, so we could get your reaction on here. So let me see if I can do that real quick.
Okay.
Without messing up too much.
I'm excited. And this is who is the artist, you think?
Who is the artist? I believe this one is by Paranoid.
Okay. I was gonna guess either Sleeves or Paranoid, the 2 great musical composers of the Ron and Fez Show, the John Williams and Hans Zimmer, battling it out constantly for who is the scoring genius. I loved them both.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. I apologize. I was trying to get this ready.
I can actually talk for a second because Sleeves, I actually follow him on TikTok. He's fucking great. He does all these weird little poems and musics. I love it. I don't know where Paranoid is on TikTok. If he was there, I'd follow him too.
Those were the two. Would you say those were the two heaviest song hitters?
Paranoid, Sleeves, has to be, right? Who else would be there? I did some really shitty lo-fi song parodies, but not to their level. Their level was good production.
Yeah, I would also say, what was Billy Mitchell's band?
Oh, yeah.
Not Billy Mitchell, Billy Staples. I'm sorry.
Billy Staples. Yeah, that's right. Oh, fuck. I know who you're talking about. You had
Airsick.
Airsick. That was his song parody album, right?
Yep.
He had like two. I think he had like 2 or 3 Airsick albums. Yeah, Billy Staples, classic Ron Fez producer, right there.
Sorry, all my prep went deny. Give me 1 second here, Dave.
That's fine.
You know what? We're going to take a brief pause, and we'll be right back.
Earl fucked a lunatic from the Nut Hut. Black girl made out with a mental patient. He likes mongoloid pussy. That doesn't make him a bad person. Black girl fucks crazy girls. Black girl is so goddamn neurotic. He made sweet love to a retard. Crazy pussy makes him black out. Black girl fucks crazy girls. Black girl is so goddamn neurotic. Black girl fucks crazy girls. Black girl is so goddamn neurotic.
Frank Ron Fez. Ron and Fez. XM 202.
Yeah, now put that shit under there, quick, rather than hard like a fucking man.
Go to the hospital, 'cause the B-list celebrity poured a bottle of hot sauce down his pants and burned his dick hole. He's got blisters on his asshole. You should sue Jay Moore for pain and suffering. When the doctors and nurses were laughing at you. He's sad, Dave. Don't fuck me, you've never been humiliated. That girl never let Jay Moore disrespect him on the motherfucking radio. Cracker Jack say what? He let a dog lick his nut. He let his mama eat the jelly from a jar that he fucked. Black girl never let Jay Moore disrespect him on the motherfucking radio. Cracker Jack say what? He let a dog lick his nut. He let his mama eat the jelly from a jar that he fucked.
That's great. Good job.
Perfect.
That was good. Paranoid, thank you. That was tremendous. If you have a TikTok, I'll follow you the way I follow Sleeves. I love that. That was good.
I that is one of the songs that I would find myself randomly singing while unloading a truck at Dick's Sporting Goods and then having to explain why Black Earl never let Jay Moore disrespect him on the motherfucking radio. What that meant. And there's just not enough time. We've done 3 episodes and I still haven't explained it to the people.
It's tough to explain these epic radio moments to people because you just have to be there and experiencing it in real time, or doing a wonderful retrospective nostalgic show such as this to remind you how brilliant we in fact were.
And how relatable, because we've touched on this, so I'm not going to tell the story, but when I sent you that letter, it was you were reading the letter about sending a letter to Ron and Fez, and I was dealing with somebody at my job who reminded me of Safi, and I would literally call Sapphire in the back. Like, everybody could relate to being in the position you were in, just not given the opportunity to do it in such a brilliant way you were, which I think made the character so great.
Thank you. I had been wanting to be in radio for a long time. But I finally did get in 2003 with a paying gig. That's you got to make $1. We're not talking internships and bullshit. With 90.5 The Night, when I got overnights, midnight to 6 voice track, but still midnight to 6, every fucking weeknight. That was a cool little thing. Did I ever tell you I sent Ron my air checks?
I don't know if you said it on here, but please.
It's the worst shit you'll ever hear in your life. Some of I did bits in 2003 on 90.5 The Night where I'd be talking to myself. Like, that's the worst radio imaginable. Where I'd be like, 90.5 The Night, Davey Mack here. That was Bruce Springsteen. And we got the Rolling Stones coming up. Wait, what? Hold on, folks. My producer, Buzzy, has something to say. Huh? Buzzy just went crazy. He's lighting himself on fire. What? Buzzy's nuts.
And you didn't have a producer.
There was no producer.
It was just
there was
you.
no one there. I was doing literally what I was doing just now, staring blankly at nothing, pretending that I was surrounded by different peoples and characters.
I think you just described Earl's ideal radio job.
But you know what? I'll try to track down one of those. I may know where one of those air checks are that I sent to Ron. I may know where one of those are. That'd be awesome. I will fucking. We have to play it on Davey Mack's Tales from the Satellite. I am not saying these are good. I'm saying this is the worst shit you've ever heard in your life. But it's funny for that reason. But it is the worst shit ever. But see, you got to learn. You got to grow. I did 90.5 for 2 years. Then I got hired by SiriusXM in 2005. Was still learning. Here we are in the Midnight Rider Saga Part 3, 2007. Still learning, still fighting, still shucking and jiving.
Well, surprisingly, so is Earl, given how terrible he was up to this point and what we're about to learn.
How did Earl Douglas get? I mean, I know that we don't do a lot of modern day radio. How did Earl Douglas get hired back by SiriusXM? Do you know that? Let me put you on the spot, Mr. Fucking Questions.
I'm going to speculate, kind of like you did about Earl's big abortion.
Go ahead.
I'm guessing he, much like Jeffrey Epstein, has an island and is blackmailing all the Sirius executives. Because what other logical reason would they have to bring him back?
I don't know.
I'm not.
I mean, I don't. But by the way, I don't want the guy to be fired or unemployed or anything. I was just very surprised when he went crazy and left, as opposed to me, who's not allowed to go back in because I sent Opie an email saying I'll punch you in the face. So I'm not allowed. So this is why I have this fuck SiriusXM attitude these days. Not anyone who is talent, but every single person who is a program director or general manager, you're soulless, uncreative, unimaginative pieces of shit, and you should all die.
I was almost Hollywood Tamburo for a second there and was like, the express views of Dave aren't the whole program. But you know what? I'm going to quote Ronnie B here and say, you're right, Dave, because it's always been, it's a tale as old as time. It's who versus who.
It's all about who you know, and it's
versus the suits is what I was getting at. It's the t-shirts versus the suits. And sometimes somebody will be like, oh, that guy's a t-shirt. He's one of us. But then you don't realize he's gone full Al Dukes on you. Now he's a suit. And he's backstabbing you along the way and not really helping. And that's the worst type of suit. A t-shirt pretending to wear a motherfucker.
That's it. And there's a lot of t-shirts who are truly suits. You're 100% right. They're clandestine suits disguised as t-shirts. And
some of them are like, enough fabric was used to make this t-shirt anyway. Might as well just get a suit.
Exactly. And SiriusXM has way too many of those types employed. They never understood me, and that's fine. But it is a little odd that I can't simply go in to say hi to some people because of no reason whatsoever. It is odd. And it's weak. It's fuck. Let me just say this. I don't want to get hopped up. I'm enjoying this episode. I'm in a good mood now.
Now that we've shit on everybody involved.
But it's fucking weak. It's pussy, weak fucking shit. SiriusXM, you are fucking weak. You're weak. You're fucking weak. Sorry. That is some chicken, cowardly, fucking soft behavior. I sent an email in 2014 to Opie saying I'm going to punch you in the face and I'm banned 10 years later. Did I threaten to fucking shoot up the place or shoot him? Give me a fucking break. This is how radio people talk, you dorks. It's how men talk, too. Just shut the fuck up with your goddamn ban already.
Well, maybe the difference is Black Earl never let Jay Moore disrespect him on the motherfucking radio. And that's why Sirius took him back. But speaking of Earl, we come back from break with that song. And what do you do the day before the big Oscar awards are announced every year, Dave? The Razzie Awards, of course.
We got to do the Razzies.
So Fez starts going through the Razzies and gets about 3 names in before he finds out that someone who never gets addressed, but eventually Fez gets very mad at Earl, so I'm assuming it was Earl, printed Fez's last year's list of nominees.
How the fuck is that even possible?
That's literally what the question Fez yelled out. Literally in that same tone and pitch and everything.
Okay, 100% that was not either the Midnight Rider or East Side Dave. 100%. I don't know what the fuck Earl did there. Did he get into a goddamn time machine and fucking open up the computer from a year ago? What? I actually wouldn't even know how he would have the previous year's Fez Razzie list even saved.
That's how Ron brought it up too. He was like, "What are you doing? A Back to the Future here thing, Fez? How'd you get last year's list?"
That is a major fuck up, though. You're live on the radio. You got everything. You're ready to perform. And you're looking at last year's fucking list, which it seems mind-blowing that somehow Earl even had access to it a year later. It's fucking radio. When you're done with the bit, it's done. It's done.
Absolutely. And I'm guessing he searched Razzie Award, and it was early enough in the morning that the list hadn't been out yet when he first searched it. Printed out the first article he saw, didn't even look at it, and then later in the day, the real list was announced. But so we do think it was Earl. And the reason why I ask is one thing I noticed is that Ron points it out right away when you're doing the recap that you have 2 stud interns because you've got Shell over at FM and you've got Pepper over at XM. And we know what Pepper's career has turned into. I mean, he's the executive producer of Bennington now. He's got High Society Radio.
Is that his title?
I think so. I mean, he's the only producer over there. Oh, wait, I guess Earl's there too.
Earl's there. I'm just curious if that's his actual title.
I don't know what his title is. I apologize. I mean to misrepresent Pepper, but we know what happens. You've worked behind the scenes there. You know who's the executive producer at this point. And then obviously High Society.
It's just that not every show needs an executive producer. And if you don't have to make someone an EP. In other words, you can simply have a producer. You could have 2 producers, or you could have a producer, an associate producer, or you could have a senior producer and a junior producer. It's all kind of with when you're executive producer, that is a big deal. That's a big deal. That's letting everyone know that you're big deal Derek over there.
Well, I will say this with full compliments to Mr. Pepper Stanley. If he is not the executive producer, the show could use him to be it. Like, I would love that for him. He's a great guy. He's very talented. Even he has, look at our friend Bronx Johnny, who he has on High Society Radio all the time.
Davey Mac Tales from the Satellite executive producer. Is that what you said?
Of the Bennington show.
Oh, of the Bennington show.
Yeah. There's not a chance in hell Pepper would do that, or otherwise it would be you and him talking about it right now, and I'd be in the.
I thought you said this show. I thought you said this show. I was like
of his show.
Oh, his show.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. But anyway, so it's him, and my I know this is a tangent from the Razzies, but what happened to Shell? Is she still in radio? Because she was very talented. The number of bits she works her way into, you go, wow, you know. Lily and Earl do a couch show occasionally and don't bang.
She also had a little bit of a hot beginning and maybe too hot of a beginning. And if you come in as gangbusters the first couple days where you give the Ron and Fez stories of a confessional variety, right? If they're fucking whoppers, where do you go from there for the rest of the semester?
It's kind of
not
like
always.
that.
See, you gotta
Plan.
pick and choose when you release all your bullshit. You don't want to fucking just, send it all out there at the very beginning. Then you got nowhere to climb up.
That's why we didn't open with the rider.
Exactly.
But okay, I was just curious. It's kind of like that SNL Chris Farley story where they were like, you got to make the inspirational coach build. You can't come out at a 10, so he busted through the wall to start the sketch.
Exactly. Shell's a nice person, though. I don't know where she is. No, I have no idea. I haven't spoken to her in 10 years, minimum.
Okay, well, maybe we reach out and she could be the executive producer of Davey Max Tales from the
I don't believe. I think she's moved on from radio, is my point.
Fair enough. So did Flacco, and we saw how well that went. So maybe we stay away from that. Anyway, so the fans call in and give Fez the nickname Mr. Last Year and start calling in with all of last year's stories. Like, do you think Opie and Anthony are going to move to Free XM? It's good at fault, but it is actually irritating Fez. And not like getting him worked up into a, oh God, I'm so bad. Like he's pissed at Earl instead of himself, which is kind of cool to see for once.
Yeah, well, because you gave him last year's list, you fucking meatball. What the hell's the matter with you? Take 3 seconds, cross the T's and dot the I's. Make sure the fucking right year is on any list you print out. Just say, does this year correspond with the fucking year that I'm in? If the answer is no, you need a new list.
Now, Dave, you and I have not been a producer nearly as long as you have, but we've both been producers. Mistakes happen. If right away Earl went, sorry, Fez, that was me, my bad, I must have printed last year's, he would have gotten his balls busted and it would have moved on. Fez wouldn't have been that angry. There might have been a conversation about being more organized, but he refuses to say anything.
That's the point.
Fez's questioning is met with dead silence. It's even worse than that. I'll take responsibility.
That's why I'm not fucking kidding you. Stonewall. I used to call him that every once in a while in the office, off the air. Fucking Stonewall Douglas over there. He just won't say a goddamn word. I mean, I guess they say that's like the technique for when, like two men of power want to negotiate. You just stop talking. But for radio, it's not very conducive to your job. You must communicate on and off the air.
In radio, if I get silent, it's just because I'm letting you go and I'm trying to figure out where I am in my notes. It's not me trying to make a power move. Exactly. You got to respond. And Ron clearly gets frustrated and kind of points that out and introduces, other than you and Pepper, probably my favorite producer in Ron and Fez history. Do you remember him? His name was Cuppy.
Cuppy?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember Cuppy.
It was the cup of pens. It was the cup holding the pens on the table. And Ron would just go, Cuppy, did you print out last year's article? Cuppy. See, Earl, he's the same as you.
Yeah, because Cuppy is, essentially, Earl does the exact same amount of work with as much accuracy as Cuppy. Cuppy actually flew into my head a few times, now that I think about it.
So that should be pretty cool.
So since it's Oscar nominations tomorrow, that means the day before today, Razzie nominations.
It's the Razzies.
For the worst films of the year. All right, so the Razzie nominations are out. Worst Picture nominations, Deuce Bigalow, European Gigolo. Dirty Love, The Dukes of Hazzard.
Have you come here like some kind of fucking Back to the Future?
What do you mean?
These are not fucking 2006 movies. Those are 2005 movies. Dukes of Hazzard wasn't last year, was it? No, it was the summer before. It was on cable this year.
All right, I'm looking at this. Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes both nominated. One for War of the Worlds, one for Batman Begins.
You're on the wrong year, my friend.
All right. You know what? The nominations come out today. It happens every damn year, the day before Oscar nominations, and I get handed year-old nominations.
And you read them off like an idiot.
Why? Why does this fucking happen?
They got you. It's like punked.
I swear to you, that's how it is. I swear they wait and they figure, all right, let me just hand him this when he doesn't have time to read it and he'll just go for it. What?
That's fucking great.
What is going on over there? How do you not see this when you're typing it up that Deuce Bigalow, a European gigolo, came out 2 years ago?
Fez, let me read this too. The hostages have been released, and President Carter and President Reagan are both happy.
All right. Unbelievable. Does anyone know why I got handed last year's nominations?
Go to Cuppy. Cuppy,
the cup of pens that now produces the show, will not answer. I got it from the staff.
Cuppy has not slept in some time.
Does anyone look over anything that gets handed to me?
No. You don't understand how little the sleeping is going on.
It's just ridiculous. Let me just... Here, Hayden Christensen for Star Wars, Revenge of the Sith is on this list.
Fez, why don't you read your stuff over before you start to announce it?
It got handed to me. I didn't have time to read it. I assume if something is released today, they're going to get me today's, not a year ago today.
Well, why don't you just say, here's last year's news? How about we start and do a new thing called Fez Whatley with last year's news?
Jessica Alba got nominated for the Fantastic Four and Into the Blue. This is insane. And nobody's taking responsibility for it. Nobody's saying, oh, sorry.
Fez, the way I see it, it's your responsibility. You're the host. You're the dummy.
I can't ask for something and get it handed to me correctly?
You're the dope. Hey, play a little recommendations from Fred. Let's get our recommendations from Fred going while Fez wipes this egg off his face.
Mine's going to be Bewitch with Nicole Kidman and Will Ferrell.
Don't have it? All right, we'll move on then. Here is Sean. Sean, you're on Fez.
Hey, how's it going, bud?
Yeah.
I got to add to what Jennifer said a little bit ago. Earl could have done so much shit.
All right, I don't want Earl to be picked on right now.
No.
Because Fez has got himself in a fucking thing, and you're just going to get Fez madder.
I'm so fucking pissed right now.
Don't be mad. Move on, Fezzy. You read last year's news. You look stupid. I can live with it. You should be able to live with it.
Unfortunately, the thing I was going to move on to was Fred recommendations, but apparently the open is nowhere to be found.
What's wrong with your delete, Earl? It doesn't work anymore? You can't grab music?
My mouse is locked.
My mouse is locked.
And turns off his microphone in mid-sentence.
All right, well, that's last year's stuff.
Yeah, so, the Razzie nominations come out today. Well, I have no clue.
We know what it's going to be. It's going to be that fucking Basic Instinct 2. And I'll go out on the limb here and say, here is a movie that you guys need to watch just to see how bad something could be. I got this on the pay-per-view the other night. You know how you download it from your cable? During the actual voiceover, 30 seconds in, I say to my family, do you think it's too late to get our money back? This is how bad the voiceovers leading into this. And it's a film made by a guy that I will say made at least one classic film. But this one, and then they progressively get worse. And this one has, for me, to be maybe the worst film I've ever seen. I think people should just watch it to see if it's the worst film ever. And that's Lady in the Water by M. Night Shyamalan. That is so bad and so ridiculous, it can't be believed.
Yeah, I never saw Lady in the Water. It was, he started going so downhill, and it was one of those things where I used to always want to be there opening day for an M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Well, the first one really grabbed you, right? The first one you saw. Because I think he made a little film before Sixth Sense. But then after that, they get progressively worse. This one, Fez, I'd put up there as one of the worst films I've ever seen. No fucking sense at all to it. Randy, you're on Run Fez.
Big ass 307, buddies.
Hey, buddy, what's happening?
I want to wish Mr. Last Year good luck in his bet against Elfish. You're going to win it, Fezzy.
Mr. Last Year is going out of his way.
Yeah, if I missed her last year, I would be preparing for a trip to Memphis right now with Elfish.
I'd like to check back in on Elfish, too, just to see how he's doing. Because the last we saw him, since whatever Fez did to him on that trip, he's been in or out of the fucking nut hut. Jim, you're on Ron Fez.
Hey, Fezzy, who you liking in the big game? The Steelers or the Seahawks?
Do me a favor. Leave Mr. Last Year alone. He's been through a lot.
Calling me Mr. Last Year isn't going to help with what I've been through.
You read last year's news. You're the last on it.
I get handed last year's news by these idiots.
Not for nothing, Fez. How come you couldn't see the same thing I could as you're reading it off, that these weren't this year's films?
I didn't realize it until I started reading it.
Then you kept right on going?
Well, yeah, and I'm like, by the time I got to Dukes of Hazzard and I saw the look in your eye, I'm thinking, wait a minute.
The look in my eye was glee, my friend.
I know.
Seeing how stupid Mr. Last Year looked. Fred, you're on Ron Fez.
Hey, Ron and Mr. Last Year, how you doing?
We're good.
I'm really upset to hear about Fezzy's heart attack, and I wish him a quick recovery. I'm glad he's just getting back to work.
Let's hope that he has a great 06. That's the main thing, Fez.
I already had my 06. I'm Mr. 07. That's what I want to be.
Jay, you're on Ron Fez.
Hey, guys. Some breaking news for Fezzy.
Oh, good.
Slavery has been abolished.
Spy report. Spy report.
Slavery has been abolished, Fez.
I'm not Mr. 2 centuries ago.
Isaac, you're on Ron Fez.
Hey, Mr. Last Year. How's your new producer, Dave, working out for you? I know he just started 2 days ago, I think.
Yeah, don't you miss Harry?
Haven't missed Harry yet. This is just ridiculous. See, I get all this because somebody hands me the wrong list. Now it's all my fault.
And at several points, people point out that, right? That, cuppy. Fez gets worked up, and Ron tries to get him from spiraling. This is post-heart attack. We're trying to keep Fez under control. So he goes, you know what? Why don't we just go to Fred's recommendations? And gets met with the same silence you just got met with. And Fez goes, what's going on? Where's that stinger? We can't find the stinger. Okay, let's just move on.
Earl didn't have the music?
Earl didn't have the music. The rider popped in and was like, tries to do something about how Earl also was late again today. Maybe if he hadn't walked in 2 minutes before the show, Daddy, we would have been prepared and ready to go.
By the way, we would have, it should have been changed to the Freur recommendations. Well, Fred was Fez, Ron, Earl, Dave. Right? So wouldn't it be for Fez, Ron, Earl, Ryder? Freur?
Well, maybe they had Dave calling in because he had called in earlier in the show for Jay. They seemed to not want to change a lot of the stingers, and it was more convenient just for you to call from home.
Yeah, I guess that would require a lot of stinger work.
Whereas some might just require imagination.
Yeah, I mean, see, but here's the thing. I did some shitty lo-fi. I changed some, remember when I was having a little thing with Fez, and Opie and Anthony had to whip him out Wednesday? And remember when Fez accidentally outed somebody? And I had
out your friends Monday.
It's out your friends Monday. Out your friends Monday. I mean, it takes 10 seconds to do a fucking fake stinger. It takes a lot, Earl. You could have done that, and then I guarantee you, Ron and Fez would have been happy with him if he had done fresh stingers for the Ryder era. Definitely.
He was busy getting abortions and having nightmares. Right, Dave?
He was busy freezing up like fucking C-3PO.
I'm so glad you said freeze up, because when Fez starts to get worked up, Ron goes, I thought we were going to try to move on. And Fez was, I was going to, but fucking Earl couldn't, get the song ready. And Earl goes, my mouse is frozen.
It's always something.
What does the mouse freeze mean? It's something that's continually comes up. Earl's the only one who had this problem.
Yeah.
Why? What was going on? Give me some insight.
Well, what was going on is he didn't know how to look things up in Delete. The Delete was the type of system that we ran XM. By the time we moved to Sirius, we had a different system. But on 57th Street, Delete has all of your songs, all of your stingers, all of your commercials, all of your shit that you got to play. It's right there in Delete. Okay? The point is, he was the worst person at looking up shit in Delete. And I'll tell you why. Because I said, before I was in the studio a lot.
Tell me why.
I would sit next to Earl and watch him do his Dillette fucking shit. Now, if Ron wants a song looked up, right, I would always tell him, you got to look up the artist. Don't know why. Think that he was always, he needed to get things out quick. But in doing so, he made his fucking job slow. Because you look up a song like, I don't know, Rock and Roll Sunday, right? You'd be surprised. There could be 1,000 songs called Rock and Roll Sunday, and then you're fucking going through all this motherfucking shit. So I would tell him, fucking put in the artist first. Then put in the fucking first 2 words of the song. It's going to pop up. You're going to play it. You're going to be good. Never took my advice. The fucking mouse never froze at Dillette because I sat behind that board multiple times, ran the show without a hitch. The reason why, you know this?
Why? Tell me why.
Did you ever hear, Dave, you missed the commercial break? Dave,
No.
you missed the sounder? Dave, you missed this. Dave, you missed that. Did you ever hear that once?
Even early on?
Thank you. That's
No,
it.
I never did. I apologize.
sat behind that fucking board and ran
Oh,
that
yeah.
shit.
And you're not the only person who said that, because I remember at one point during one of my favorite episodes, the Interim Revolution, we talked about on the Christmas, Pepper freaks out and screams that at Earl.
Yeah.
The mouse never freezes.
The mouse
It's
doesn't
just
freeze.
You.
Earl freezes. The mouse doesn't freeze.
So Mr. Douglas has robbed us of some Fred recommendations.
God damn it, I wanted to hear what was going to be recommended to as well.
At which point you decide to just continue kind of recapping the hypnosis show. And you play the part where you guys got high. Only, as a caller points in when it's done, the reason why it was cut short is because Earl cut out a point where the mouse froze on him again. And at this point, Fez loses his absolute shit. He's like, so you cut your mistake out of the replay? And Earl's like, yeah, of course. Like, we cut all the flubs and dead air out of the replay to make it tighter. And Fez is like, you're not going to cut out you giving me the wrong list, are you? You're not going to cut it. And just they lose it on him and give it to him.
That is fair. And no, he didn't cut out all the flubs. That's a whole lot of bullshit. It was you take the show and you simply move it over to a couple different folders. It was time consuming, but there was no post-episode editing being done. I was there.
Now, is that like breaking a golden rule of radio too? Like, you don't cut out your own mistake.
Hell
if somebody
yeah.
else wants to cut out your mistake,
Of course,
to
he's
keep the
covering
show
it up.
tight.
He's hiding. He's covering up shit. In fucking every goddamn scandal ever. It's never the scandal. It's always the cover up. I don't blame Fez for losing it on him now. You can't cut that out of the fucking thing. And no, he didn't do that. It was first segment up into the commercial break. I got to press process. That gets processed. I move that into Dillette. Second break, radio break after the fucking commercial break. I press that fucking thing. That takes an hour to process. I move that into Dillette. But there was we're not fucking going back and editing the show like this is a fucking movie. And we're
But
trying
what
to
if you made a mistake and the mouse froze?
Never! Oh, Earl. Now I'm getting hot.
And as hot as you are, Fez was 5 times as hot. So Ron throws it to break. And thankfully, one of your favorite TikTok follows has our second song of the day.
My man Sleeves.
He walks alone down the Strasse, wears a mask, he's a Nacht philosophy of the soul great fighter. Open wide for the Midnight Rider.
That's what the Midnight Rider does so well. He's going to take your dreams, put them into his heart, and then put them back into your heart.
My heart is yours for the asking, Rider.
It's about electrified funk. It's about the new man in town. It's about the Midnight Rider. Austin at 365. I don't know how these other marshmallows perform, but I know one thing. The Midnight Rider performs with sweat, blood, and tears.
Tell me more about the marshmallow. It's time to hit the road, Jack. It's time to go on down the clock, Daddy. Tick-tock, 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 tick-tock. It's over for you.
From the power of his heart and from his heart to the power. Miss Wilton Chung has no shot at pride. He works for the world. Love is his employer. The Midnight Rider. The Midnight Rider.
Because it's not funny if it's a bunny. And it's not whale if it's a whale.
The Midnight Rider. Philosophy of the soul great fighter. Open wide for the Midnight Rider.
I love that ending. Daki do ein noki choki doka. Daddy do ein noki choki doka. They should definitely. Backstreet Boys fucked up by not making a goddamn Japanese version of.
I mean, you guys really predicted K-pop.
Yeah, we kind of did, didn't we? We fucking predicted, if not invented, K-pop.
Pretty much, right? I would say Ron and Fez Show 100% between Ichiban and that.
Someone wrote, that was one of the nice YouTube comments. Someone said this show is, and it was a little Ichiban character.
That's so
and
cool.
I knew what it was without even having to look it up because, like I said, I got that from my dad who bought me a T-shirt when I was like 8, the coolest T-shirt, black T-shirt with the lettering Ichiban on it. So I knew it.
And what does that mean?
Number one.
How would you say that?
Ichiban, number one.
Number one.
Number one.
So you go to the commercial, you come back, and Ron goes, wouldn't it be good to be playing some music underneath there, Earl? And Earl goes, oh no, my mouse froze.
Uh-oh, there's your song.
I think this is his theme music, Ron. Ronnie.
Thanks, Roger Rabbit.
Oh, yeah, let's get down. Because the Midnight Rider is just a common man. A man of the people. And I am with you, baby, all the way. Whether I'm your pizza man, whether I am your garbage man, whether I am your mailman, I am with you. I am the Midnight Rider. And I can't let him catch me. I can't let him catch something so sweet.
Very nice. Fuzzy, did you enjoy the Rider?
I love his new spirit, Ron. It's very exciting, and it's a new dawn, it's a new era for the Ron and Fez show.
Will you be going back to Toontown soon, Roger Rabbit, or what are you going to be doing? Oh,
it's
Fez.
Rude and rude.
Excuse me.
Rude and rude, Ronnie.
Fez, you did not do so good at the Rider, but the Rider had you down to the lisp and down to the broken little arms.
I would tend to disagree with that.
I think the Rider, upon hearing this, may Fezzy W an apology and say, I am sorry for.
I love the fact that the Rider gets portrayed as a 3-dimensional character by Fez, and you portray a real guy as 2-dimensional at best, maybe only 1-dimensional.
Again, I do Fezzy, and I'm sorry.
Yeah, you didn't exactly do me justice, Rider.
Brian, you're on Fez.
Fezzy, is there any truth to the rumor that O&A might be moving to Free FM?
Mr. Last Year always wants to get out last year's news.
Yeah, they're going to Free FM.
Davis, you're on Fez.
Maha boom, brothers.
Maha.
I got the Real Razzie nominations here.
Oh, good.
Yeah, topping the list, A Taste of Lemon.
That's another big mistake Fez made.
All right, I made it on the air, but that was another mistake that the a-holes here handed to me.
Let me tell you something. You fuck with Sapphire, Sapphire's gonna fuck you back.
Yeah, I guess so. I think it's the passive aggressiveness is what'll happen here.
I think it's just aggressive.
Why hand me a year-old list of nominations?
Sapphire, 2 thumbs up from Ronnie B.
I can't get out of my chair.
I can't get out of my chair.
Is everyone still high?
Yeah.
There's nowhere
to go.
9, 1.
No,
what is it?
Please.
You don't want to cop here?
No, I don't want to cop here.
No.
Come on.
What's
Come
wrong?
on, just get it back to normal.
I'm really,
I don't want anything.
I'm really having trouble breathing.
What's
I don't
wrong?
want to be high.
I'm having trouble breathing.
Oh, why did you cut off the end of it, Earl?
But that's where it ended. Pretty much where it ended because he started to calm everyone down.
Yeah, but I wanted to hear Fez because Fez actually everything was fun, but Fez's short breath just stopped a bit totally.
And hearing that back, I don't know whether there's still a little bit of a suggestion in my head or something, still a little under. But yeah, that one got to me listening to it back.
It's so quick how ready Pitsy was ready to think everything was fucked up. No matter what came up, nothing can work out of this. We're all fucked.
Exactly. There's no happy ending to this.
And Ryder crying like a fucking baby. Not exactly the way I see the Midnight Rider.
Well, the Rider does not like incarceration, Ronnie B. He's not allowed to ride through the sunsets when in prison.
Here's Jim. Jim, you're on Fez.
Who could it be now? What radio producer edited out the 10-second time-lapse from Friday's Board Gossip segment when it played on today's show? Who could it be?
What did he edit out? What did you edit out, Earl?
Well, I couldn't get the Who Could It Be segment, so there was like this big gap of like dead air. So, of course, I edited out the dead air, of course.
You fucking edited over your mistake.
Yeah, that was when the mouse froze and we had the dead air.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I am gonna go insane. I get handed a bad list today and get left out in the cold. No one says, hey, my fault, anything.
You picked up the nickname Mr. Last Year. The listeners think you're a dope.
Exactly. So I've been taking that. I get left, You
took it like a man.
I get hung out to dry, and in post, we fix our own mistakes.
Yeah, Earl takes care of Earl.
This is absolutely perfect.
Earl fixes the Earl fuck-ups, but yours, Fezzy, runs just the way so everybody can have a good long laugh at your expense.
I'm sure mine will be put on a loop so that my mistakes keep going out time and time again instead of fixed.
Earl, why when you left your fuck-up there? That, to me, was my favorite thing.
No, it was a fuck-up, and then
how come the mouse doesn't freeze for anyone else? It just freezes for you.
It froze today. It froze a couple of minutes ago.
I know, for you.
Just for you.
O&A don't have a problem with it.
I never hear, the mouse froze on the O&A show.
I think it's not the mouse, but his fingers that freeze, if you know what I'm saying, Ronnie B.
I know exactly what you're saying. You lost your knife, Earl. You lost your producing knife. This is Monday, and you got your fucking foot in the bucket.
What? I mean, it's post-production. You cut out gaps in dead air. That was a gap in dead air.
Only yours got cut out. Nobody else's.
The only one here.
You left in all the uncomfortability the writer was having, getting, doing that when he started to have his little freak out.
Yeah, but that was the whole deal. That's him.
Earl, you know who you care about? Earl. That's it.
I care about the show. I absolutely care about the show.
You care about Earl. You and your frozen mouse care about one thing, Earl. You haven't even sat up during the show today.
You
look
up
like
now.
a fucking question mark sitting over there. Johnny O, I picked up girls at abortion clinics that came out peppier than you were. And I'm not fucking kidding.
They were less embarrassed.
And trust me, Earl, they didn't want to go. They didn't want to go. Johnny O, you're on Ron Fez.
Hey, guys. Yeah. Earl, you fucking schlep. How many times is the mouse going to break? Are we noticing a pattern here? Oh, the mouse froze. The mouse froze. Get it together. By the end of the year, I'm gonna have everyone
Where you from,
in
Johnny?
this show, New York.
What part of New York?
What's the difference where he's from?
What's the difference? Where I'm going to have every Ron and Fez show on tape at the end of the year, and I'm going to send Ronnie. I'm going to send you a tape of every time that Earl says the mouse is frozen up, or no, it was this, it was that.
He'll get that tape and edit it out. He'll edit it out so it sounds like Fezzy fucked up.
Of course, yeah. That'll be Fez got handed the wrong list, but yeah, he's the asshole.
Chris Sherman and Fez.
Hey, what's up, buddies? Not only did he edit out the 10 seconds, he also edited out the acknowledgement that there was a mistake.
Obviously.
I mean, you got to get rid of him, have a vote.
Where you going, Earl? Where you going?
No, I'm not going anywhere.
Why'd you take off your headphones?
Yeah, because I'm just...
Why are you asking listeners where they're from?
No, I was just asking a question, that's all.
Why?
Just a question.
Were you going to tell him to show up here?
You going to kick some ass?
No, I'm not going to pick a fight with anybody.
The King of Queens going to take him down?
I'll defend myself, but I'm not going to pick a fight with anybody.
Well, but I just want to know where you want to go. Why you want to know exactly where the man's house was.
No, it was just a random question.
But why? Why slow the show down only to be edited out later?
This will be covered in post.
I know. This will not make tonight's show.
Which, if he was doing a bit, would be hilarious.
He said it again.
It would be on the border of me almost saying echo chamber for a third time. Like I had to bite a hole in my tongue to not do that earlier. But I knew you weren't joking.
You know what? No. I liked what you were doing. But at the same time, you know what was just on my mind? The fucking Emmys. Did you hear about the Emmys? Okay, the guy had a great idea, which is really funny. Anthony Anderson. He's he's a funny guy, right?
Sure.
He's Saturday Night Live or something like that. I don't know, but he's funny. He's funny. I like him. He's funny. And he decided he would have his mom interrupt people if their speeches went too long. Now, here's the thing. Do it exactly one time. The mom kept doing it all night long. And people were like, but literally by the third time, they were like, fuck this woman. I want to fucking punch Anthony Anderson's goddamn fucking mom right in the face. So that's why I said that.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it.
God
I didn't want to do
bless
that to you. I didn't want to do that to you. Don't punch me in the face.
Thank you. Now, as far as Earl Douglas goes, that's shock. It's shocking. It's shocking that he would actually say the mouse froze again. It's shocking.
He's not that funny. He's not that funny.
No, definitely not that funny. No, he's not. He wouldn't troll like that. I think that perhaps this one time the mouse actually froze. But at that point, boy who cried wolf, all the other bullshit mouse that froze makes it no one want to believe what Earl Douglas is even fucking saying.
No, and like even you or the rider, as we pointed out, you were incredibly supportive of the rider or of Earl as when you were the rider.
Right.
He's been like, I gotta work with this asshole. Half the time I can't even see his eyes. Like he's driven you away.
Yeah,
like, he's
I'm trying
got
to
no
help
friends
him.
left.
I'm
Now,
trying to help him. I'm trying to be kind and happy. He won't let me do it, and he won't play. He won't play in the Rider sandbox, Daddy. I need my sweet, sweet Sapphire and that nice ass rubbing up against my luchador mask and my cowboy hat. Oh, hate it here. I just needed Earl to play along, but he wouldn't, and now he's fucking up the goddamn apparently, he's fucking up every bit that we're trying to go into.
100%. Now, the only thing that really kind of happens the rest of the day is Ron points out he may go in early to see Opie and Anthony tomorrow to meet Ricky Gervais. The reason I bring that up is he does end up going in, even though Ricky came in early and he was hoping to just be in the background. And he goes, now I got to go in there and meet Ricky Gervais. Well, I got the goddamn rider in his hat and mask running around the studio like it's a fucking mental place or something along those lines, which just gives credence to the fact that you would, in fact, show up every day in the hat and mask. And the next day, Ron's giving a summary.
Kayfabe, for that entire era, no one ever saw Eastside Dave's face. Ever. Never happened. Boom.
No, 100%. Now, the next day, Earl finally announces he finally got some sleep and is expecting everybody to be really excited, except for the fact that no one is. He's still fucking up.
Because men don't congratulate other men about their sleep. You don't
Right.
say, oh, yeah, I'm so happy for you. You got 8 hours last night? Fuck, man, let's go out let's drink tonight to celebrate.
And more importantly, he hasn't done anything yet. Like, if it had been, hey, Earl, you seem much more on the ball and sharp today, and he went, I finally got some sleep, then there's a reason for that. He just makes that announcement and is still fucking up. To which point Ron goes, if you were a sports coach, right, Earl, you got a player on your team who's been in a slump for 4 weeks, what would you do? And Earl goes, you got to bench him. And he goes, okay, just remember that. But then Ron points out a hypothesis, and this is how we're going to end this episode of Tales from the Satellite. Your thoughts on this, which is...
You think I should come in early tomorrow and meet Ricky Fez?
Yeah, I would.
I don't know. You know, I really like the guy, and then I meet him in real life. What if I don't? And then if I see him sitting next to Anthony, to me it's going to look like John Lennon and Bob Dylan together. It can only go downhill from there. It can only be less than spectacular.
Maybe it could be great.
I like to keep people I like at a real distance.
Why is that?
Because when I meet them, because it's like a Fez thing. They just let me down. All right, folks, we'll be back tomorrow. You got anything you need to plug, Fez?
No, I think I'm cool here.
That's the end of my show. Donk.
Ron Bennington, Fez Watley, The Ron and Fez Show. XM 202.
Ron and Fez Show, 866-RON-0-FEZ, 866-RON-0-FEZ. I'm Ron Bennington. There's Fez Watley.
Hiya, buddies.
Earl, throwing a little Ricky Gervais love his way.
Oh yeah, I mean he was great this morning on the O&A show, and you were too.
Why to sit there and judge? When did you turn into Robin? When did I ever in my whole life, Earl, need you to hop up and say that?
I was just
you're wonderful, and it was all wonderful.
I was just
all you got to do is hey, it's me, Earl. That's all you got to do. You'd have been out of this thing.
I was just paying you a compliment.
A compliment.
Yeah,
that's what he calls it.
We'll come over and rub my back a little later, Earl. Maybe that's the way we can go with this. What is with him? He's not the same.
There is something seriously wrong with him.
There's something very, very wrong with you.
There really is.
You don't act like a person anymore, Earl. He was very wonderful, and so were you, sir.
No, I was just paying you a compliment.
Seriously. I'm never going to put you in the field. You're always going to be in the house, Earl. You don't have to play up to Daddy. Don't have to tell Big Daddy good news. I know it all. Everything's fine. It seems to me as the Midnight Rider gets stronger, Fez, Earl seems like he's losing strength.
Maybe the rider's just sucking it off of him.
No, I did come in a little early today when they were very nice enough to let me hang out with Ricky Gervais, who I'm a big, big fan of. You know what's weird, Fezzy? You know when you fucking dig somebody?
Right.
I almost didn't want to meet him because I didn't want it to be something, like, oh, I don't like that guy. But I ended up, I fucking love him.
I noticed you were in here early today.
Yeah, you know what? I normally do. I come in about the same time every day, and today just happened that Ricky was here.
You never get here that early.
Well, you know what pisses me off? Like, Opa's like, yeah, sure, you can come in. He'll be here at 10. Fucking guy shows up at 9:30, and I'm at my house on the other side of town. And I have to say, do I still want to come in late? Because my idea was I didn't even want to talk. I just wanted to act like I was doing something in the background. You know what I mean? Just do a little filing, run an imaginary board, and just seem like I was staying. Just, part of the deal.
Yeah, then it goes into the juggling decision where if I go, then I'm not going to be able to listen to it on my way, maybe, or I'm going to miss something. And
well,
could he be gone by the time I get here?
Because we have XM. I don't know
That's
whether you
true.
understand. They're portable. I know that you don't take anything outside your house, but they are portable. You know what I want to do? Make sure you get some gear for Fezzy. Make sure he understands.
The Oscar nominations came out with the official that does it, and Salma Hayek was the guest announcer.
Am I the last person to know this in America? She's pregnant?
I didn't know she was pregnant.
I mean, does she look pregnant to you? She's like a little square right now.
Yeah, she totally looked pregnant.
Yeah.
Coming across the stage.
Earl, do you know anything about this gossip?
There's been rumors about it, but no confirmation from her camp
such
at all.
Bullshit. There's no rumors. You're hearing it here for the first time. There'd be no problem to say, no. Show me one rumor.
I mean,
give me a page.
Go get me one. Go get me a rumor. I want to read the rumor. He makes shit up. I don't know what's going on with the Fez.
He's getting stranger by the day.
There's something very, very wrong with him. What is that even from? I know it's Bill Murray.
Is it Stripes?
Yeah, probably. Ryder knows. Midnight Rider knows.
It's absolutely 100% Stripes, yeah.
Thank you.
Do me a favor, Fez. When I'm in here with Ricky Gervais, don't let the Midnight Rider walk by with that stupid hat and that fucking mask. And don't let me bring up Mark David Chapman up the fucking first second that I bumped into Ricky Gervais. It's a stupid thing to say
that might
to
have
an
been
Englishman.
Yeah, that might have been unnerving for him.
I saw the shock in his face.
Oh, boy.
And even O&A's face. I just fucking yelled out something crazy as I came through. Hey, Trent, you're on the Ron Fez Show.
Hey, Ron Fez, this is Trenchmouth. I think Earl's like the calm before the storm there, right before he goes so-called postal on you.
Yeah, well, even a couple of times he got upset with the rider, and he seemed like he was going nuts. But are you going to keep it together, Earl?
Yeah, I'm feeling really good today. I mean, I got some degree of sleep. I'm ready to go today.
But you're babbling nutty talk already. Just as soon as we caught you in the lie of there's been some rumors. It's an absolute lie. Anthony, you're on Ron Fez.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good.
Man, I just want to let y'all know, dude. I called Ron on the O&A show, man. It's the fucking shit you pulled with that little bit with the chick's clit. It was fucking awesome.
I don't know what he's talking about.
I have.
Oh, you know what? You probably caught some of the best stuff.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, you probably did.
Oh yeah.
Either way, that shit was fucking hilarious.
What was that bit? Do you remember?
Yeah, what we replayed right before our show started was Polo with Twado from the old NEW show on O&A.
Absolutely. We got to get somebody on those phones today, Earl. Earl, scramble out of this fucking weirdness that you're at where you're making up rumors and get somebody on the phones for me, okay, buddy?
Okay. No, I was just trying to get some information.
What's the information?
About Selma Hayek.
But was the information fucking misguided calls for the Ron Fez show? Was that the information?
No.
Remember yesterday, Fez, when he sent in that fucking piece for you when they're calling you Mr. Last Year?
I was still steaming about this. I asked for the Razzie nominations. They always come out the day before the Oscars. And they give me last year's, the 2006 Razzies instead of the 2007s. And I'm talking about Dukes of Hazzard and War of the Worlds and Batman Begins.
Hey, Jim, you're on Ron Fez.
Hey, Ron, I think Earl's problem is he's a little tired because he's trying to book the Rolling Stones day and night.
Well, just the one Rolling Stone, Ron Wood. How's that coming along, Earl?
Actually, I'm making very good progress on that.
Now, what kind of progress are you?
No, I mean, the request has gone to his management, and I'm awaiting word on whether or not he'll do the show.
So that's who could not call up the Rolling Stones management and said, I would like to meet Ron Wood. We'll get back to you. I bet fucking Rupert Pupkin would get the same treatment.
You know, and the word I got back is that they're very interested. They're extremely interested.
You said you were his friend. This had nothing to do with XM or Ron and Fez or the Rolling Stones. You said you and Ron Wood had some kind of a relationship.
Did they email you back this response?
No, actually it was a phone call.
Because I'd like to see the email where it said, we're very interested. Tell us more about this Ron and Fez show on XM Satellite Radio.
Call them back, say my co-workers think I live in a web of lies. Please email this.
It's just an encounter that I had, a couple of encounters I had with Ron Wood, that's all.
An encounter? Ooh.
La-ti-ta!
Some enchanted evening, you may meet a Negro. You may meet a Negro. Matt, you're on Ron Fez.
Hey, guys, how y'all doing?
Yeah.
The rumor that Earl is looking for was, I think last week or the week before, Ron, you had just said she looks pregnant.
I know, that's the rumor.
He's looking for.
The rumor is, the unconfirmed rumor is me. I'm obsessed with the fact that every time I see her, she's more cube-shaped. Earl takes that as he's just read Cindy Adams.
Did you hear it's everywhere? The rumor is everywhere. You're his world to him. That's why he thinks the rumor is everywhere.
And if you tell me your world, Earl, I'll let you off the hook.
No, it's something I read.
Am I your world right now? Just tell me if I am.
I think you are.
I think you're a big part of my world, but you're not my world.
You know what I feel like? I feel like I'm a single black female. Honestly, Earl is going to start acting and dressing like me. It is really, really scary. David, you're on the Ron Fez show.
Yo, hey, why is Earl tap dancing? First he said that he was awaiting a response. Now he got a response. He's making shit up as he goes along. See ya.
See you later.
What? I'm relaying the information that I got. That's
where?
That's the information I got.
But here's the information that I know. You acted like you and Ron Wood were buddies. You even said you could have Ron Wood on the other anytime. That'd be like me going, I've checked with Fez's people, and they're very interested in having Fez come in.
My people are my sister and my niece.
Yes, I talk very much with his blood relatives.
Earl, by the way, so everyone remembers, Earl says he can have Ron Wood from the Rolling Stones on this show by June 20th.
And I don't know why he came up with that, June 20th. What did that mean? Is that last day of high school?
He said before the vernal equinox.
Earl said he could have him here for prom, that he was going to be Earl's prom date.
And that Davy Jones was going to sing.
If you get Davy Jones to come in at the XM prom, the place will go crazy.
How about one for the flip side?
That's his kiss.
Yeah, when Marcia Brady got to kiss Davy Jones.
Like all he wanted was kisses on his cheeks.
So, then the parents come down the stairs, there's Marcia kissing Davy Jones.
Davy Jones probably slept with more minors than Gary Glitter. And yet, on TV, he just wants a little kiss on the other cheek. Here is Matt. Matt, you're on Ron Fez.
Buddy.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, I have to say, it seems to me that the focus has shifted off of Fez, and we are now slowly seeing the breakdown of Black Earl.
Well, at one time or another, the breakdown bug, it moves around the show, where somebody seems to be hacking up a breakdown, and Earl, for whatever reason, it's you right now.
Yeah, I'll admit I'm going through a really rough patch right now, but I feel great today. I'm in a really good mood.
What do you mean by rough patch?
Well, in a couple of weeks.
What kind of patch? Don't say melon.
It's pubes.
No, I mean, I'm going through this period where I can't sleep very well.
Work very well.
I mean, and it is affecting my work. It's
How do you
affecting
tell the two
everything
apart?
I do.
The sleeping and the working.
One he's getting paid for. One somebody puts a check under his nose when he's sleeping.
One of these I'm not doing very well at.
But I'm snapping out of it. I slept fairly well last night, and I think I'm beginning to turn the corner here, at least with the sleeping problem.
You honestly feel like you're doing good work if you sleep at night. That's your idea of I'm turning things around for the show.
No, I never said that.
You know what? I'm going to get a hold of Wiki, see if we'll give you a raise. That you slept 7 hours last night.
Well, let's do this official review. Sleeping? A+. You seem entitled to a raise.
No, I didn't say one had to.
You are now walking behind. You're fucking playing second to a guy in a luchador mask and a girl's cowboy hat. That's where your career is going right now.
Rider.
And you're going, good news. I got some sleep.
Well, after going 3 weeks without it, or with little of it...
Oh, you'd be dead.
What does that have to do with the show? Why do you think that matters to the listeners or your coworkers how much sleep you get?
No, the lack of sleep is starting to affect my work. It has affected my work, and I openly admit that. And I'm just saying now, I'm like...
Fez, good news, he's eating more asparagus.
Oh, very nice.
Yes.
Employee of the month.
He's getting more fruits and vegetables. Oh, you talk crazy half the time anymore.
But I'm talking crazy. I'm explaining what's wrong with me.
But you don't talk like a person.
Or a producer.
Earl has received the problem bug. There is always somebody on the show who's having a mental breakdown. And it seems like Earl has caught the bug from Fez.
Yeah.
Right? Now, if you go before that, it was probably, Billy Staples?
Harry Elvis.
Harry Elvis, Al Dukes, like everyone, it does seem like the bug was passed when Earl leaves. Fez's problems get exacerbated. When Fez kind of goes away for a bit, your problems really come to the forefront. Now, we've talked a couple of times, that was you kind of taking the spotlight off of other people in a Machiavellian type way. But still, do you feel like the nature of the show in general kind of drove people to be the fullest version of their character, such that if you were the guy who was down on his luck having a breakdown, it almost spiraled you out?
Well, if you all the time we would do things, wrestling terminology, but works turned into shoots. That 100% happened, where things that were setting up that were, hey, we're at odds on the radio on this. We're just at odds. We're going to have a good time. It's going to be fun. Yeah, you shit talk me. I'll shit talk you. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, it's going to be good. And then 2 weeks later, you're literally ready to slit each other's throats all the time. So if your thing is, yeah, man, life isn't going well, this and that, it started to become real because you're kind of thinking about that shit and you're it's on your mind all the time. And next thing you know, hey, fuck, life does suck right now for me. What the fuck happened here? And you start having a mental breakdown. But also, you got to remember, the environment was so close on the Ron and Fez show. It was really me, Ron, Fez, and Earl for the longest time until Pepper. And you're talking about, you're there, 8:30, 9 o'clock or whatever for a noon show. You're there from noon to 3. And then you have post-show meetings and stuff, which could take a long time. Earl Douglas, not the fastest guy to run through celebrities who Ron may or may not want on the show. And Fez and I would have to sit here. Robert, this is literally sometimes 45 fucking minutes. Ready? You're Ron. I'm Earl. Henry Rollins?
Yes.
Matthew Broderick?
What do you think, Fez? No.
George Wendt, from Cheers.
Earl, get the fuck out of my office.
And that would go on for 45 minutes as 100 fucking celebrities would be read in that dry, nothing, no pizzazz style. I know it's a production meeting, but can I fucking go begin my 3-hour trek back to New Jersey as opposed to hearing Earl fucking list celebs?
And if you are being stuck there later at night because of him, and you're the one getting there 3 hours before the show, and he's rolling in right on time, like I could imagine that being an even more hotbed issue for you. Going, wait a second, why are you making my day longer when you get to just come in whenever you want?
It took him 20 minutes to commute to the studios from Queens with his subway line. It took me 2 hours from Central Jersey, and these were. My day started to get there at 9:30. I left at 7:30, and I got home at 9:30. My days were 14-hour days on the weekdays. 14-hour days. That's not bullshit. And Earl could have expedited some of that, just with a little faster. Let's get in and out. Let's do some shit. Let's set up a schedule. I'm going to pitch the celebs on Thursdays rather than every fucking day, where it's sometimes.
Or I'm going to give you a checklist, Ron, and you can check yes or no.
That would have been phenomenal.
But you do learn a lot about the different radio personalities, because to a large extent, Obie and Anthony was the same way. You didn't want to be the guy on that show that was under their gun, the one that was being attacked, right? And so you got people like Earl who turtle, just literally fainting, goat, and freeze. Yeah, we've got guys like Fez who, when they get under the gun, react by also spiraling, but doing so in such an entertaining way that people are still going, he's a goddamn legend to this day. Like, he made his suffering entertaining.
Right.
We got guys like you that go crazy. You don't know what they're going to do, but it's going to be entertaining. And then you've got guys, and
claws come out. Guys like me where the claws come out, Robert.
Well,
if they're going to fuck with me, I'm going to fuck with them. I'm going to fight every single time. Never going to back down.
What I like about your claws is they hit you in the front, because the other thing you saw amongst the producers was, and this was mainly the Opie and Anthony staff, but the backstabbing, put somebody else under the spotlight so I'm not. And
right.
A lot of them were very good at that. That's a talent. I'm not criticizing them, but it's just you learn the different types. And then even just a large extent, the Pepper Ron element of I'm just not going to be the guy under the gun. Fuck you is a very entertaining thing to be too. No, fuck you. You're under the gun. And if you're good at that, like those two are, you can make it. So that's what I think made Ron and Fez so great, was you had a bunch of people who reacted differently, whereas some of the other shows, everybody just tried to throw each other under the bus instead of making it entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, too, you got to remember that you are doing a show. I mean, at the end of the day, as much as crazy as all of this personal shit was, and sometimes it could get very personal and it could get very insane, you're broadcasting all of this to humans. There needs to be some kind of entertainment element to it.
Oh, absolutely.
In my case, it was, if I fucking bring the goddamn fucking thunder and lightning and fucking bring the Axl Rose and fucking bring passion and energy that is simply, it's a mile ahead of anyone else who was a producer in that building at that time. I'm sorry, but it's the case.
But even Earl, like, we spent this whole episode talking about how he was under the gun. The rider the entire time, every step along the way, was trying to gas him up and trying to be like, you can do this. We can get through this together. So even while he's under the gun, you had elements of the show. And I'll be honest, I've been an Earl guy where you got somebody silly trying to cheer you up and get you to be a team player. 9 times out of 10, it's going to cheer you up and get you to be a team player. You know what I mean? Like, even if you don't want to. Whereas, so I think it's truly a compliment to the entire show, especially you, who, you know, even while making it entertaining and still kind of shitting on Earl, we're able to do so in a way that you cheer him up and make him feel like he is a part of the team nonetheless. You know, you're not ostracizing him.
No, he was a part of the
him.
team. He's Earl. He's Earl. He's definitely a part of the team. I mean, my God. But it's just, you know, the frustration level could reach a tipping point sometimes when, like I said, 4 people for a while working in a closed space for hours and hours and hours at a time. That's why the mental breakdowns would happen every once in a while.
Oh yeah, even your best friend, you're gonna fist fight if you're in that close capacity that long. You know,
that's what it was.
And I think if you look at all the people who have sprinkled off from the show and the different things, the different elements the Ron and Fez crew are doing today, most of them have carried that kind of same spirit of like, yeah, we're going to make fun of you, but it's in a positive way. Like, if you look at your show, you never really pile on anybody who's truly having a bad day.
I try not to.
You make fun of no, exactly. But if you were, and if you noticed somebody was, it was going to be in a way to try to cheer them up. I think, you know, obviously you've surrounded your people, Roy, Sean O, guys who think of the same mindset. If you look at what Pepper's doing in his crew, Bronx Johnny, Chris from Brooklyn, if you look at the Bennington show now. So I think it's cool to see that spirit kind of carried along today. If you talk to guys like Big A and you hear them discuss their time on O&A versus Ron and Fez, when he's talking about Ron and Fez, you got to smile. When he's talking about O&A, he's proud, but it's not the same level of I was a part of that team.
Right. Everyone was one. It was one big fucked up, but family.
Yeah.
That word can be used in that scenario. It was a tight-knit family, and it made for some very special radio. There's no question about it.
And I like that you carry that spirit on today. And speaking of a tight-knit family, you got a tight-knit family of shows over on eastsidedavecountry.com. Why don't you tell the folks about that?
We want you to subscribe and share all of these shows. First of all, the Davey Max Sports program, Gangbusters. We are killing it. We are dominating. I've had 2 fantastic episodes in 2024 since we've been back. Make sure you're subscribing and sharing the legendary, award-winning, Best in Show iTunes Davey Max Sports program. Number 2, Yaddle Channel, a Star Wars podcast hosted by me, Darth David, and Jedi Jared, formerly known as Cream Pie Jones from the Opie and Anthony Show. Do as great a fucking Star Wars show as you could possibly want. But even if you don't like Star Wars, make sure you subscribe, because we've had a lot of criticisms about Star Wars and Kathleen Kennedy long before the South Park episode. We've been, pretty fucking adamant about her and doing great Yaddle Channel episodes. The East Side Dave and Son Wrestling Show, nationally syndicated by Beasley Media. Just look for it wherever podcasts are found. And then, of course, Davey Max Tales from Satellite. If you want this, if you're here on Patreon, you get it here first. And so we thank each and every single patron. You get exclusive content on patreon.com/EastsideDave. You get access to this show way in advance of the YouTube. And if the YouTube comments keep getting fresh, I'm just going to fucking take it off. And I'm just going to keep it on Patreon. Okay? But anyway, the Eastside Empire, the world of shows going great. I'm now a wrestling champion. In December, my motherfucking guy, Robert Atkins, defeated Supersonic KC Bonilla at IWF, Independent Wrestling Federation, the IWF's Loud and Proud in Nutley, New Jersey. And now you're looking at, and I'm his manager, and now you're looking at a fucking champion as Robert won the American Championship.
Congratulations.
And that's my goal as far as I see it. Robert gives it to me. I make Atkins, I'm saying. Atkins.
Yeah, no. I mean, I give you a lot, but not my medals.
No. When any member of the wrestling part of the East Side Empire win gold, they must donate it to me and my mantle.
And speaking of your guys and your wins, I don't know if you saw this today. Your boy Billy Mitchell had a big legal victory. So Dave wins yet again.
A big congratulations to Billy Mitchell for his huge legal win, and he is now, all of his records have been restored to Twin Galaxies, the official video game record holder and scorekeepers. And Billy Mitchell, all of his records are now back deservedly. Here's the funny thing, Robert. I got a call from Billy yesterday in the bathtub.
You were Billy.
I was in the bathtub.
Oh, okay. I thought he was there with a toaster. Like, if this legal decision doesn't go well, Dave.
So I said, I'll call you right back in 5 minutes. He put me on with his son, who just graduated West Point. Okay. So I thought that was the reason. I thought that was the reason for the phone call. So I go, well, congratulations, Billy Mitchell Jr. And Billy Mitchell, Big Bill, you must be so proud. Like, we're having this fucking conversation yesterday. It was so weird. He then says, if you've seen King of Kong, you know this is exactly what he does. He says, Davey Mack, big news tomorrow. Keep your eyes peeled. And I'd appreciate any support. I go, awesome. You want to tell me now since you're off the phone?
Since we're on the phone, you called me to clearly tell me this news.
You called me. Also, you're asking for my support. So, what's going on?
Dave, you know how you've blindly supported me over the years? I'm going to need that one more time. Can't tell you what's coming out tomorrow.
So I actually asked him, I go, what's going on? You know, Dave, Billy Mitchell never reveals a plan. I go, there's no cameras. We're not filming King of Quarters Volume 2. Okay, why are you fucking gimmicking me now? What is this, a goddamn Midnight Rider situation off the air with Billy Mitchell and the Dave Man? Anyway, he says, listen, big news, check the social medias. So I did. I saw that, so I retweeted it, and then I gave him a congrats message. And, of course, commenters are saying, oh, he's still a fucking cheater. No, he's not. You're a cheater. You're a cheater. Billy Mitchell is a winner.
Next, they're going to tell me Bill Belichick's a cheater.
Yes.
Or Tom Brady's a cheater. You got muted. You got muted. It's almost like the Davey. It's almost like the King of Kong censored Davey Mac right now. No, we can't hear you at all. Nope, we can't hear you at all, Dave. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Tales from the Satellite. We still can't hear you, Dave. So we're just gonna get out of here. So thank you so much for tuning in and have a great night. I don't know what Dave's saying. He keeps mouthing something. I'm worse than Earl. And Davey Mac has been unsilenced by the masses. I lost my hat in the process.
I apologize. I apologize to all the Davey Mac Tales from Satellite fans. I got so excited to share you something that Billy Mitchell sent me by himself. In case you've never seen this before, what you're seeing on screen is a poster that Billy Mitchell himself made the Dave Man. He took Steve Weeb's face off of the King of Kong, a fistful of quarters poster, and digitally inserted my face. I guess he has contacts at ILM, Industrial Light and Magic.
I will say that was your Facebook profile picture at the time.
So the other thing, let me just ignore what Robert said. But I do want to point out, I've pointed this out before, but it's just the funniest fucking thing ever. Oh my fucking God, can one thing work here? The fucking computer.
It sounds like me setting up every show.
On the poster itself, Billy Mitchell copied and pasted my LinkedIn profile. And he put that on the poster. So on a poster, it says Hot Sauce Mogul, that's Billy, meets the Dave Man. broadcasting superstar, writing, social media, acting, marketing, advertising, organizing live events, leading teams, teaching interns, customer service, sales, promotions, developing personal, professional relationships. That's the worst poster copy in the history of posters. Have you ever seen anything on a poster that looks or sounds like that?
It feels like he could have gone to like the awards section of your LinkedIn, maybe. Like, something.
They went to my LinkedIn profile, copied and pasted, and fucking put it on a poster. Oh, but I love this thing. You know what? That's what we should do. Maybe we should do a little giveaway. I got like 10 of these.
I've got one framed in my room. You've seen it.
Yeah. Maybe we'll think of a way to do a little fucking Davey Max Tales from the Satellite poster thing. Maybe compliment. Maybe we'll put your hat, your name in a hat if you deliver a complimentary comment on Patreon or YouTube.
This seems like a Jared project. On that note,
Dave,
yeah,
it's definitely a Jared project.
You've given him your plugs. Make sure you follow Eastside Dave across the board. Like and subscribe. Tell your friends. And until next time.
Love you guys. Love all the patrons. Love all the fans on YouTube. Subscribe and share this fantastic show. We love what we're doing. Eastside Empire in 2024. Thank you, everybody. Good night, buddies.
Thank you for tuning in, radio fans, and good night.
See ya.